interface UPI model, a real-time digital payment system that allows users to send money, pay bills, and manage accounts through one app. He said other organizations such as the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, can help the technical assistance program by monitoring, brokering arrangements with different countries, assisting with practical modes of delivery, and emphasizing a regional approach. He commended the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, CARTAC, one of the 10 regional technical assistance centers, RTACs, established by the IMF to help countries strengthen human and institutional capacity. Their RTACs are designed to help implement economic policies that promote growth and reduce poverty. Hilaire optimistic about Trinidad and Tobago's electronic money future. Newsday reporter. 9 HRS ago drive Alvin Hilaire, Governor of the Central Bank. File photo. The Central Bank Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire has expressed optimism about Trinidad and Tobago's journey into electronic money after attending the International Monetary Fund, IMF, annual Intergovernmental G24 meeting in Washington, D.C. on October 22. The meeting addressed the future of e-money systems and the resources the IMF provides to financial authorities to harness benefits and manage risks. In a release published on the central bank website, Hilaire said the discussions noted that while there is a projected stabilization of global growth in 2024 and 2025, emerging markets and developing economies, EMDs, such as TT, still face risks such as high inflation rates, depreciation of currencies, and effects of climate change. However, IMF said it stands ready to fulfill its role as the center of the global financial safety net by strengthening the international monetary system and enhancing crisis prevention. Hilaire said the meeting was helpful as TT continues its journey to include e-money and digital currencies in its day-to-day transactions. We are on a journey now to fast payment solutions in TT using the Unified Payments model of India. This model allows payments to be made using smartphones without credit and debit cards. Hilaire said the bank has a crucial role to play in the development and implementation of these technologies. Now the central bank has to juggle the role of operator, supervisor, overseer, and prompter. We spent a lot of time educating the public on knowing how to deal with this new technology and are optimistic that we will do what is necessary. He said the IMF has been a good supporter of the technical assistance program established by fintech. Launched in February 2020, the Financial Technology Association of TT is a non-profit organization that works closely with the government and regulators to make TT a fintech-enabled financial services hub. I think IMF were pragmatic, direct, and very helpful in shaping how we looked at things. The two key areas they looked at were how we regulate fintech and deal with gaps in legislation on cryptocurrency. He said the bank is moving towards fast payments using the Unified Payments Interface UPI model, a real-time digital payment system that allows users to send money, pay bills, and manage accounts through one app. He said other organizations such as the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, can help the technical assistance program by monitoring, brokering arrangements with different countries, assisting with practical modes of delivery, and emphasizing a regional approach. He commended the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, CARTAC, one of the 10 regional technical assistance centers, RTACs, established by the IMF to help countries strengthen human and institutional capacity. Their RTACs are designed to help implement economic policies that promote growth and reduce poverty.
Rohan Sananan, PNM made good on promises. Ryan Hamilton Davis 10 hours ago. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sananan shake hands after Dr. Rowley cut the ribbon during the commissioning of the Archibald de Leon San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway on October 14, 2023. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sananan shake hands after Dr. Rowley cut the ribbon during the commissioning of the Archibald de Leon San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway on October 14, 2023. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan says the PNM made promises to provide the nation with several projects surrounding road repairs and building and developing infrastructure, as well as developing plans for progressing Trinidad and Tobago, all of which, he claimed, government has made good on. Contributing to the 2025 budget debate in the Senate on October 21st, he highlighted several projects promised and delivered by the PNM-led government. We promised the San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway. We delivered that, he said. We were able to stop the corruption, go back and collect $1 billion from some of their friends, and we spent that $1 billion on the project. We were able to deliver on it. You can now drive from San Fernando to Point Fortin in 20 minutes, something that took 2 hours before. We promised to continue the highway from Wallerfield to Sangre Grande. Despite challenges, we expect access to that highway by January 2025. Most of the work is completed. The work is ongoing, but we keep our word. He added that plans such as the East-West Corridor Transformation Project, which includes removing all traffic lights from Port of Spain to Sangre Grande, and construction of interchanges for a smoother flow of traffic, remain in the works. The Curipe and Diego Martin interchanges are part of this project and said the next step will be an interchange in Macoya. He added that government developed a national drainage plan to treat with the effects of climate change. Just going and desilting rivers and drains and so on will not take us too far, Sinanan said. We had to develop a plan that we could work on to take Trinidad and Tobago forward. Never before was there a national drainage plan, he claimed. He also said government has a comprehensive program for the construction and repair of the nation's roads. That is why you can see now every day bridges being built, roads being repaired and new roads being constructed. In contrast, he continued, the People's Partnership government tried to embark on several projects but failed because of corruption and poor planning. We are able to do it, he said, making note of the Curipe interchange. They attempted to do it but it was made in corruption. They had to cancel it. He said government took the same plans, changed the scope of works and re-tendered the project, which resulted in it being brought in for half the proposed price. When we came into power in 2015, our manifesto was quite clear. It was about let's do this. I can stand here and say we did it. Rohan Sinanan, PNM made good on promises. Ryan Hamilton Davis 10 hours ago. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan shake hands after Dr. Rowley cut the ribbon during the commissioning of the Archibald de Leon San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway on October 14, 2023. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan shake hands after Dr. Rowley cut the ribbon during the commissioning of the Archibald de Leon San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway on October 14, 2023. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers.
Hilaire optimistic about Trinidad and Tobago's electronic money future. Newsday reporter. 9 HRS ago drive Alvin Hilaire, Governor of the Central Bank. File photo. The Central Bank Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire has expressed optimism about Trinidad and Tobago's journey into electronic money after attending the International Monetary Fund, IMF, annual Intergovernmental G24 meeting in Washington, D.C. on October 22. The meeting addressed the future of e-money systems and the resources the IMF provides to financial authorities to harness benefits and manage risks. In a release, published on the Central Bank website, Hilaire said the discussions noted that while there is a projected stabilization of global growth in 2024 and 2025, emerging markets and developing economies, EMDEs, such as TT, still face risks such as high inflation rates, depreciation of currencies, and effects of climate change. However, IMF said it stands ready to fulfill its role as the center of the global financial safety net by strengthening the international monetary system and enhancing crisis prevention. Hilaire said the meeting was helpful as TT continues its journey to include e-money and digital currencies in its day-to-day transactions. We are on a journey now to fast payment solutions in TT using the Unified Payments Model of India. This model allows payments to be made using smartphones without credit and debit cards. Hilaire said the bank has a crucial role to play in the development and implementation of these technologies. Now the central bank has to juggle the role of operator, supervisor, overseer, and prompter. We spend a lot of time educating the public on knowing how to deal with this new technology and are optimistic that we will do what is necessary. He said the IMF has been a good supporter of the technical assistance program established by fintech. Launched in February 2020, the Financial Technology Association of TT is a non-profit organization that works closely with the government and regulators to make TT a fintech-enabled financial services hub. I think they, IMF, were pragmatic, direct, and very helpful in shaping how we looked at things. The two key areas they looked at were how we regulate fintech and deal with gaps in legislation on cryptocurrency. He said the bank is moving towards fast payments using the Unified Payments Interface, UPI model, a real-time digital payment system that allows users to send money, pay bills, and manage accounts through one app. He said other organizations such as the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, can help the technical assistance program by monitoring, brokering arrangements with different countries, assisting with practical modes of delivery and emphasizing a regional approach. He commended the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, CARTAC, one of the 10 regional technical assistance centers, RTACs, established by the IMF to help countries strengthen human and institutional capacity. The RTACs are designed to help implement economic policies that promote growth and reduce poverty.
Imbert, oil spill boat arrested in Angola. Sean Douglas. 2 hours ago, Finance Minister Colm Imbert. Photo courtesy Parliament. Finance Minister Colm Imbert said the tugboat Solo Creed had been arrested in Angola in his wrap-up speech in the Senate budget debate on October 23. The Senate passed the 2024 to 2025 budget on its third day of debate after its previous passage in the House of Representatives. On February 7, the tugboat was towing the barge Gulfstream when the latter reportedly overturned on a reef and then began to leak bunker oil in the waters off Cove, Tobago. The oil contaminated part of Tobago's coast and also reportedly reached Grenada and Bonaire, spilling 51,000 barrels of oil, with the government donating $50 million towards cleanup out of $134 million sought by the Tobago House of Assembly, TCT. On Wednesday, Imbert said, on Friday last, through the Attorney General's office,
and
TT
LENNOX
arrested the
Smith.
tug, the Solo Creed in Angola, which was the abandoned barge, off Tobago that caused so much damage in Tobago. That is performance, P&M style. We tracked down that barge and we arrested it. The arrest of a ship means its restriction by court order to secure a maritime legal claim and to prevent fleeing to avoid penalties. Imbert said he was looking forward to presenting his 11th budget in 2025, seemingly in reference to the general election due next year. Imbert began his wrap-up by chiding the opposition for presenting 2 extra senators to speak in the debate beyond its 6 permanent senators. He said it has become fashionable and habitual for some opposition senators to become mysteriously ill at budget time, such that a 7th, 8th or even 9th temporary senator turns up to speak on the budget. Calling this action a complete travesty and a violation of the Constitution, he vowed not to recognize the contributions of the 2 acting senators. Senate Leader Paula Gopeskun chimed in, not that they were worthy anyway. Imbert did not call names but was referring to Dr. Tim Gopesing and Dominic Smith. Regarding the allocation to Tobago, including the Tobago House of Assembly, Imbert said $3.2 billion for 63,000 people worked out at $50,793 per person. He said this exceeded the $35,000 per capita allocation for Grenada, $4.1 billion for 117,000 people, St. Lucia's allocation of $25,000, $4.75 billion for 179,000, and the $40,370 per capita for Barbados, $11 billion for 282,000 people. Justifying Tobago's new airport terminal, he said Panama City's fine airport had made it a regional hub, as had also happened in Singapore. He urged people to think big for Tobago rather than be limited to mom-and-pop scaled hospitality accommodation. That can't be tourism, he said. Imbert said it would be the government's priority to establish proper refueling facilities at a marina in Tobago, to boost tourism. On the minimum wage, he said he had been emotionally moved by his constituents who were MTS workers, but later said if the level was set too high in private businesses, Workers could end up losing their jobs. Imbert, oil spill boat arrested in Angola. Sean Douglas. 2 hours ago, Finance Minister Colm Imbert. Photo courtesy Parliament. Finance Minister Colm Imbert said the tugboat Solo Creed had been arrested in Angola in his wrap-up speech in the Senate budget debate on October 23. The Senate passed the 2024-2025 budget on its third day of debate after its previous passage in the House of Representatives. On February 7, the tugboat was towing the barge Gulfstream when the latter reportedly overturned on a reef and then began to leak bunker oil in the waters off coast.
Young. Refineries being closed globally. Paula Lindo 4 hours ago. Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Energy and Energy Industries Stuart Young contributing to the debate on the appropriation, financial year 2025, Bill 2024 in the Senate on October 23. Photo courtesy Office of the Parliament. Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Energy and Energy Industries Stuart Young contributing to the debate on the appropriation, financial year 2025, Bill 2024 in the Senate on October 23. Photo courtesy Office of the Parliament. Acting PM Stuart Young said refineries are closing globally as leaders decide there is no money in refining. He made the statement during the budget debate in the Senate on October 23. It was 2 days ago I was speaking to one of the global leaders in oil and gas players and they were telling me of the difficulty they are having and how they are considering shutting down some of the state-of-the-art refineries they have, for example, in India. They described to me because of the technology being used there, it is possible to eat your sandwich off the plant floor. It is so clean what is being produced. Our refinery is not a state-of-the-art refinery, and they said the margins have shrunk so much, there is no money in refinery business anymore. They are one of the world's leading producers of oil. He said an article from global energy publication oilprice.com on March 28, with the headline "Over 20% of the world's oil refining capacity is at risk of closure," stated that weakening refinery margins and carbon taxes put a fifth of global refining capacity at risk. Europe and China face the highest closure risk due to declining demand and environmental regulations. The rise of electric vehicles and biofuels is transforming the industry, potentially leading to widespread refinery closures, the article said. It also said more than 20% of the total global refining capacity was at risk of closure. Young said this was a global problem in the energy sector, of which TT is a small player. The outcome of what I've just said and what I am telling the population without fear of contradiction, is that the refining business is an extremely difficult one, even with a source of crude that you yourself are producing and have some control over the price, as well as with the most technologically advanced refineries in the world, which unfortunately ours in TT is not. Young said these were some of the contributing factors which led to the difficult decision to mothball the Petrotrin refinery. Petrotrin may have been a net foreign exchange earner when barrels of oil were being produced in TT at 150,000 or even up to 178,000 barrels of oil per day, but the truth is it is not. It was experiencing significant losses because it was an older refinery and because we had to purchase the vast majority of crude. We had to be buying over 100,000 barrels of oil a day. If you use a price of $75 of oil, work the math, that had to be paid in US dollars, $7.5 million a day, to put crude oil into an outdated refinery. He said the refinery became financially unfeasible and faced significant losses that threatened TT's economic existence. He said in 2011, Petrotrin was making a profit, which had dropped by 50% to $1 billion in 2012. He said in 2013 it made only $15 million profit and made a loss of $200 million in 2014. He said by 2018, the company made a loss of $16.4 billion. Young told the population not to consider the promises made by the opposition to bring back the refinery if they came back into power. He said after the government shut down the refinery, it wanted to be able to restart it without cost to taxpayers. He said there had been several attempts, starting in 2018 to 2019. He said people worldwide have shown interest in restarting the refinery. In 2023/2024, we continued to receive unsolicited expressions of interest. We narrowed it down to 10 and then opened it back up because we were still evaluating. 3 more people came in, including the famous Jindal Steel and Power, Jamor International and BB Energy, as well as SARS Enterprises. He said Cabinet appointed an evaluation committee that brought the number down to 3 companies: CRO Consortium, Inca Energy LLC and Oando plc. Unfortunately, as is the modus operandi of the irresponsible people in our society, attacks on international potential operators does affect them because their brand is important. What we heard here in the House and the population from Senator Mark from his contribution this week is a complete figment of someone's imaginations. Young said he asked for complete due diligence on Chemitech, D. Rampersad and Company Limited and Ocala Services Limited. He said a consortium does not, in law, become a registered incorporated consortium. He said it is really a gathering of legally incorporated companies. The only one incorporated in TT is D. Rampersad and Company, and the directors and shareholders of that company are well known to those on the other side. It is a local entity operating in TT for almost 50 years. Chemitech is an engineering, procurement and construction company, headquartered in the United Arab Emirates. In all of these companies, none have a link to Jindal. Young said another ridiculous claim was that one of the companies was sanctioned by the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control (OFAC). He said he had checked the list, dated October 17, and none of these companies, including parents and subsidiaries, were on the list. All of these things are done to affect the psyche of the people of TT and mislead them. I am pleading with those who really care about TT. Do not try to scuttle the government's attempt to restart the refinery. Do not attack any individual who doesn't fit your narrative. A responsible government, and even those who think their government's in waiting, would want what is best for TT.
Tony Jail Tony, good morning to you.
UNC Senator hits government over derelict police cars. Sean Douglas 17 hours ago. Opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmideo Ramdeel. Photo courtesy Office of the Parliament. Opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmideo Ramdeel. Photo courtesy Office of the Parliament. Opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmideo Ramdeel lamented a lack of police vehicles patrolling the nation's streets, chiding the government for both poor acquisition and poor maintenance of these. She spoke in the Senate budget debate on October 22, lamenting the upsurge in violent crime. Asking if the government was keeping people safe at night, she said the answer was a resounding no. Last year they promised 1,000 vehicles, she related. This year they came back and said, no, it is 2,000. Lakshmideo Ramdeel lamented a big scrapyard of police vehicles at Wallerfield plus a yard full of derelict vehicles at Marabella. She said the vehicle maintenance company VMCOT has experienced a lot of difficulty to collect payments for its work done on for various state agencies. The government is not paying government who then have to remit taxes to government. They are in a mess. She lamented the government was now talking of buying 2,000 new vehicles but had not mentioned how to maintain old cars. She said the latter idea was better value than the former. Lakshmideo Ramdeel said the government had hosted a conference on crime as a public health issue, only for Trinidad and Tobago to end up with 12,000 illegal firearms in the street, according to data from the Strategic Services Agency, SSA. She blamed the entry of illegal firearms on the breakdown of container scanners at legal ports of entry plus the Coast Guard's shortcomings in patrolling illegal ports of entry. She said the Coast Guard now has only one patrol vessel working. Lakshmideo Ramdeel related that mobile scanners were deemed too expensive to maintain and soon afterwards were pulled from service. She said each day that passed without scanners on the port provided a new chance for children to be shot. Lakshmideo Ramdeel then said the people murdering Trinidad and Tobago's children did not possess firearm users' licenses, FULs. Mulling how much money the government has spent investigating the issuance of FULs, she hit, they cannot show a single thing to secure our borders. Lakshmideo Ramdeel earlier accused the government of lacking the kindness that she said characterized opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Referring to the milk grant which Persad-Bissessar had introduced, she chided the government whom she said do not understand that the grant was the difference between an older child getting to go to school or staying home and joining a criminal gang. A future UNC government will restore Trinidad and Tobago to paradise, she said. such as by finding funds by eliminating public wastage and corruption. She said the government had brought legislation on 3 occasions to water down the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. The former government had given Trinidad and Tobago its lowest crime rate in 30 years, said Luchmedio Ramdeal.
Savia, pleasant good morning to you. A&A doubles and roti. Noel Brown, Gita Brown. Son of Kevon. Sadia. Good morning to each and every one of you. The Iron Lady.
Belmont man shot
Juice
dead while
good morning.
driving. Enrique Rupert 11 hours ago. Kwesi Wadada. Kwesi Wadada. A 42-year-old man was shot dead while driving his car in Belmont on October 23. Police said around 3:20 p.m., neighbors heard gunshots near Rudolph Charles Link Road. They saw Kwesi Wadada of Gloucester Lodge Road, Gonzales, Belmont in his silver Nissan Wing Road, slumped over on the driver's side with gunshot wounds to his back. He was dead. Police said investigations are ongoing. Police, Army to lock down Tobago Carnival. Kinesha George 2 days ago. Police on the ground in Tobago last Christmas. File photo. Police on the ground in Tobago last Christmas. File photo. Police are promising the safest Tobago Carnival ever. The annual festival, currently in its 3rd year, officially gets underway from October 25th to 27th with parties and events all over the island. Crime has been on the rise on the island with an unprecedented 25 murders in 2024, triggered by a surge in gun violence. However, police and army intend to take a zero-tolerance approach to public safety during the festivities. This was the assurance from SNR Supt Earl Ellie as he spoke with Newsday on October 22nd. "We are totally ready," he said. "All plans are being refined and refined and refined, and we have a final security product that we believe will be sufficient to ensure a safe carnival. We want this carnival to be the safest out of the 3 carnivals. We understand the need for this to be as safe as possible." Ellie said in year 2 of the event last year, only 1 incident, an assault occasioning a wound, was recorded. He said the aim this year is to ensure that no incident is recorded. "It is our intention to have not even 1. All security briefings and checks and plans are being put in place already. It's just for us to do the actual launching off." Without giving numbers, he said a contingent of officers from Trinidad will boost the security presence for the carnival. "I wouldn't want to give you the number, but we expect a strong contingent from Trinidad. A lot of them are already here from the police, and we are also expecting a strong contingent of personnel from the TT Defense Force as well. Security for this carnival is of utmost importance to us. We understand the significance of this being a safe and secure carnival, so we are doing everything to ensure that." He had a word of advice to those who are still contemplating visiting the island last minute. "Hey, come to Tobago Carnival 2024. It will be a safe place for you to come out and enjoy yourself. The carnival activities will kick off on October 23rd with Soca Titans at Market Square in Scarborough, followed by Tuco's Calypso Finals at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort on October 25th, before returning to Market Square for the Monarch of Moss on October 26th. This will then make way for Mud is Life before heading into the Juve, which starts at 4 a.m. and ending at 10 a.m. On October 26th, it will be Rhythm, Steel and Powder, which is a pan-Trinbago event. The event starts at 5 p.m. and goes until 8:30 p.m., making way for the night moss from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Then there will be a conventional moss starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday, which will bring an end to the carnival festivities on the Sunday.
When there's an absence of light, that's when darkness exists. And so in that context, I said to the Tobago community, I was present at the Gulf City Mall, that, look, the darkness we're experiencing now with crime is because there is an absence of light. Because sometimes we are guilty of shutting the door on light and allowing darkness to reign supreme. But once light shows up, darkness must go. And so in that context, I said, mothers, if you suspect and you know that your sons are dealing in illicit businesses and that the illicit activities are providing gains for which you are benefiting from, mothers, you have a responsibility to shine some light on that and dispel that darkness. I spoke to parents in general. I said, parents, do you remember that at one time, if you took home a copybook from school, a pencil that did not belong to you, that your parents would beat you, you get a good flogging? And I asked, I said, Tobagonians, where are those days? How do we move from a state where we could not carry home a copybook that did not belong to us without the rebuke of our parents? So today, being okay for parents to enjoy the benefits of ill-gotten gains. I spoke to churches, and in particular, I spoke to the Hindu community who is now building out their mandir. And I said, look, when this temple is finished, don't lock up inside the temple and not go out and do social activities. Churches, and we had other churches present to celebrate with the Hindu community. I said, churches, I said, you can't just lock up in your church and expect that there be change. You have to go out. You have to ensure you infect and affect your community churches. So essentially, it's a speech about all of us taking responsibility. Nowhere in that speech did I say that mothers are to be blamed for all the crime and all the violence on the island of Tobago or in the country. I placed a full speech there so that you can go and take a listen to the entire speech.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Pleasant good morning to all.
Nice, and he did answer back. And he cleared the air. That's good. That's good. What we have in the headliners today? What's on your headliners? What's on your front burner? Don't forget to send your WhatsApp messages. You can make your calls. All lines are open. All voice notes is open. While we go through Lennox Smith, let's go through what is the headliners that we have there this morning.
Yes,
any more deaths, in fact? Murders?
Yeah. Well,
it's gonna by one more, two more.
Yeah, that is
hey, we got there that we didn't get a murder added on. Let me know. But I'm not hearing here. I don't know why I'm not hearing you.
You're not hearing me. Wow. Let's see why you're not saying me.
I know why I'm not hearing you.
All right, let me just see what's happening here, boy. All right, let's see if there's an issue.
And everything is good on my side.
Everything is good on your side. Testing one. Testing one. Testing one.
Phone's off, you know.
Testing one. Testing one.
Hearing you.
You're still not hearing me?
So let me invite. You the people out there. Let me see if I have any voice. So by the time, then I will organize and just go through some of the headliners. Time I catch the papers. Oh boy. Yes.
Testing, are you hearing me now?
Nice, nice. Oh boy, oh boy, oh. Nice. I'm gonna get this. Play some voice notes by the time. I hear now. I speak. I think. So you go mute.
Testing.
Testing.
One. Are you
Phone's
hearing me
back
now,
off.
Andy?
Yeah, hearing you.
All right, great, great. I want to do, boy. Murphy's law is something else, man. But of course, we have to persevere and we have to do what we have to do in order to, of course, bring the information to the people. There are all kinds of misinformation, disinformation, and rank lies, and what I consider to be a plethora that we will get at this point in time, including, of course, attacking our own character, and of course the veracity of in our attempt, of course, to sully or to reduce the veracity of what we are saying, but we are not going to relent. That has been a mainstay of the ground report. We have come too far to, of course, relent to what I consider to be neophytic simpletons that clearly are only here to try to defend the indefensible. And as I said last night, anybody who has a leader like Dr. Rowley, having regard to his licentious or sexually immoral past, I would have no regard for them, and what they have to say is like water on duck back. But nonetheless, as a Lavantillian, I am duty bound to respond, and I'm going to respond as vicious as they are, only to let them know that within Lennox Smith and others, there is the capacity to respond just as them, especially in areas where there's blatant and unadulterated lies. So let us make certain. I am making it certain and pellucid that would be Lennox Smith's approach. Of course, Andy and Mikey are individuals, and they will, of course, approach in their own manner. That being as it may, quite a lot of information. Yes, we have another death, of course, overnight in Belmont on this particular occasion. But that is par for the course as per usual, so we're not going to have too much on that, except to say that, of course, Mitchell Tourism contributed $16 billion to GDP. That represents, according to him, about 7% of the GDP. That statistics, I would want to see a man to send under the Freedom of Information Act to see where that $16 billion came from. Yeah, I am tempted to do that, but because, you know, with these fellas, they say things to impress, because they believe that people do not have access to the what I consider to be the basis or the bases from which they would have gathered that information and projected it to the population. Usually, it is always nestled in some fantasy and some phantom source. We saw that, of course, with the closure of Petrotrin.
Lennox.
Yeah. Are you
1 minute, it's really important. Yeah, hold 1 minute, it's important.
Go ahead.
Chairman Ryan, morning. Morning, Chairman Ryan, morning. Mr. Chairman.
Hi, morning, Andy.
Morning. Well, I get news. I say, well, you will let the people know while I put up his picture here on the screen. Oh boy, Trinidad and Tobago, well, he will tell you all. Go ahead, my brother. Tell them the sad news.
Of course, this is the chairman of...
Yes, we are hearing you loud and clear. Give us the sad news.
Yes, one of your avid supporters and one of my Burgesses from the community of Brazil, Mr. Harry de Uragunanan, better known as Sam. We know him as the short-bearded guy from the Brazil village. He's always out there pounding the pavements and lending support, you know, whenever needed. He passed away, unfortunately, 2 days ago. I got the message that, you know, apparently he was ailing for a bit. I think he was in hospital. He passed away. That's very sad because he was a real live wire in the community of Brazil. As you know, he would always be calling the radio programs and so on. So Sam has passed away, you know, one of your avid supporters.
Right. But he was getting through with the road that he wanted thing in there, or little China getting through to help him out and thing?
Yes. We started it, but because of the rainy season, we had to slow it up a bit and wait for the dry season. But things were already in train already with him in that area there.
Well, right. Thanks so much, my brother, and you keep up the good work. Well, I hope all get. What about funding with the corporation and all being able to take care of purchases as your own? Where's the latest with that? Lennox Smith, you could ask him anything because we done have him on already.
Yes, I think it's important because, of course, the government has been boasting of course, the where the property tax is expected to go. They are yet, of course, to rationalize a mechanism for equitable distribution because they have realized, as you and others have told them, that it will be a disparity in the implementation of this act in terms of the resources that would result to be shared among regional corporations, simply because there are some corporations that have very few buildings to tax as opposed to others. So what are your views now on that, and what is the status? And the financial year has come to an end, and one is, of course, is commencing, and monies have not yet been released for the new one. But what has been the experience, Chairman and Councillor?
We have absolutely no faith in this government's pronouncements that local government is going to benefit from property tax. In the last financial year, the allocation told us that we were getting $14 million from property tax. And as a responsible council at Kuva Tabakit, we would property tax. We have made it lucidly clear we do not support property tax. But the government of the day indicated this is in your allocation for this financial year. So we had to plan accordingly for the financial year. And it never came to pass. We have not gotten 14 cents out of that 14 million allocated under property tax for Kuva Tabakit Alparo in the last financial year. Right? Wow. We are in dire straits in Kuva Tabakit. We need quite a lot. We have a lot of equipment down. We need new equipment. Our region is huge, second largest geographically in the country. The only region that eclipses us in size is Sangre Grande Regional Corporation. But as you would appreciate, you have a lot of the northern range and a lot of the land space in Sangre Grande that is not developed. Nobody lives there really. Yeah. Whereas in Kuva Tabakit, all of our land space is occupied. Now I'll tell you something. Mm-hmm. In this new financial year that we are in, we do not have any money to pave roads or build box trains in this new financial year. The allocation that we have been given is to just offset the bills that is going to be rolled over from the last financial year. Wow. We do not have any money in financial to pave not even 1 inch of road within Kuva Tabakit Alparo Regional Corporation. We're not going to be building any new trains in this financial year.
Let me answer.
I'll also just one day we had. Go ahead, Lennox.
Let me ask a pointed question. The government had boasted and, of course, had promoted the property tax in relation to regional corporate. That is a given. But would you say that was merely a propaganda mechanism by the government with respect, of course, to the local government elections last, having, of course, been forced to, of course, engage in that activity by the Privy Council. Privy Council said in no uncertain terms they attempted to undermine the constitution or put more poignantly the fundamental rights of the people to determine at an appropriate time, established time, their own representatives, of course, and we see that one of their campaign agenda was, of course, reform of regional corporations, fundamentally dealing with property tax. Was that a hoax? Was having regard to now we have several months to evaluate what the government had said on the campaign trail?
Lennox, that is a rhetorical question. That is like asking me if Aloes is good, right? That is a rhetorical question, right? We know the PNM and propaganda, right? Since I was a little boy in Pampas, I've been hearing about local government reform, right? And it has not come to pass,
Yes.
right? So I have no faith and no belief. If anything serious has to take place in this country and any respect has to be given to local government, it would come under another government, a UNC government, right? Anybody but the PNM, it will come under that government, right? I serve along some councillors who have been there for about 20 years or so. And you hear these stories from them that they had, prior to Kamala Persad becoming Prime Minister in 2010, they never had office space, LENNOX. They had to operate out of the trunks of their vehicles, drive through communities.
Wow.
It was the People's Partnership government led by Kamala Persad that gave them the respect, gave local government councillors the respect. Exactly. Right? And we have office spaces, and we have a secretary, and I mean it's real basic, but at the end of the day, it's still workforce a bit to any local government reform that is not gonna come under any PNM government. I wanted to just make this point here, right? We were at a finance meeting. We were at a finance meeting just a couple of days ago, and we were looking. We got just over $7 million for DP projects, right, in this new financial year. And as I indicated, 10 point something million of that is going to offset bills for the last year for works that have been done in the last financial year. So already it's down to about 7 point something million that we're going to have. We have 15 councillors in Kuva Tabaki Corporation, 15 councillors who each serve an electorate of about between 12 to 15,000 persons. Between 12 to 15,000 persons, 15 councillors. There's another regional corporation that has just 8 councillors. Just 8 councillors, and their electorate is just about 4 to 5,000. Almost 1/3 of our electorate. They got more than us. They got about 17.5 million. We got about 17.25. I'm just showing you the disparity. Yes. There's a big difference between equality and equity. There's no equity in the allocation of funding for Kuva Tabaki. Now, I am quite happy that corporation got the amount that they got, because one councillor in that corporation could get about almost $900,000 towards paving of roads in the area.
Right.
Just as hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
LENNOX, you hear me?
Yes.
LENNOX,
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Whereas in Kuva Tabaki, one of our councillors may just have about $250,000 to pave a road. LENNOX, $250,000 to pave a road. You could stand up at the beginning of the paving and pelt a stone in one show to the other end of the paving.
Yes, indeed.
That is the length of road you're gonna get paved, right? We are suffering in local government. We are suffering in Kuva Tabaki.
And do you think it is adding insult to injury when the government is on public record having withdrawn monies from the vote of regional corporation? I want to know if yours was a victim of that, and to, of course, place it in the hands of CPEP and or URP. That is the information that we would have gotten. So, in addition to the betrayal as far as the government's attempt to use so-called property tax to augment, what is coming to our attention is that they have taken away, reduced already depleted resources from regional corporations and putting it towards the advancement of URP and CPEP. And was your regional corporation a victim of that, what I consider to be reduction?
We were definitely a victim of that.
Wow.
And I'm happy you asked that question. One of the votes that they took back all our funding from was the local government transformation vote.
Wow.
They are speaking about local government reform. They beat their chest and they speak about local government reform. And probably the most important vote, the most important piece of funding that would lead us towards local government transformation and reform would be that vote named the local government transformation. They took back every cent that they gave to us to put in the CPEP and URP and forestry and whatever it is. Additionally, this is very important. They took back $1 million under the Sports and Recreation Ground vote. Now, we had projects already estimated. We already sent for the confirmation of funds. We did all the paperwork. It was just for them to release the funding for us, and we would have tendered these projects. The Las Lomas community, the Talparo community, and Caparo, not Carapo. I'm being clear here. Caparo, which is closer to Todd Road. Okay. Las Lomas, Talparo, and Caparo are three communities where the recreation grounds, the infrastructure is in a state of disrepair, the pavilions and so on. That vote was supposed to be used to upgrade. I think there's another one in Tabakit somewhere up there. 4 communities were supposed to benefit from that vote in this last financial year. The 3 communities that I mentioned there all fall in line. Talparo and Talparo are listening this morning and understand that Faris Alwari and his government, the PNM government, right, disenfranchised them and took away the money that was allocated. That $1 million is just a drop in the bucket.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we still try to use it efficiently.
Right.
To the, and the little bit that we get, it redounds to the broader benefit of our people. And we're gonna go into these communities. We produce champion cricket players in the Talparo community in Brazil. We have young ladies who play for the West Indies women's team coming out of our community-based cricket leagues and football leagues and so on. We need to show them the respect and maintain the properties that we have in these areas. And this is what this government did. They took away that funding. They were very nasty towards us. 4.3 million they took from us to put into CPEP, to put into the forestry and so on. Come on.
And finally, for me, to what extent does that, let's say, action of the central government affects or reflects the attitude of the burgesses towards the councillors? Because clearly, if it is, for example, you would have had plans and you made certain promises to burgesses, and then, of course, suddenly you are faced with a reduction without being properly announced, so giving even the councillors or the regional corporations time to, of course, explain to the burgesses what impact does that have, because we are seeing a development, a very troubling trend in Tobago, where, of course, Fali, as you might have seen in the clip earlier, is saying that because of the starvation of funds by the central government, the attitude of the burgesses or the electorate is one of animosity, but of course misdirected. I just want to get your views on that before we close this segment.
Lennox, very good question. I became a councillor in 2013, and from then till now, 2 things that I hold very dear to me when it comes to my relationship with my burgesses is trust, mutual trust, and respect.
Yes.
If I could position myself in a way where my burgesses trust me, I am happy. And if they respect me, I am happy. Now, all this taken into consideration, you have little to no funding to work with. Little to no funding. So when you reach that stage where you look at your allocation and you say, okay, this is what we're working with. I have $200,000 to put into my community. I am sure of this because this has been put into our allocation for this financial year. Right. We're not happy with the amount we got, but this is what I have to work with. I now go into the community with my technical team. We do an estimate and say, okay, this is what the $200,000 can give you. And then I speak to the community and say, okay, this financial year, we could upgrade this pavilion. We could change the roof. We could paint, fix up the toilets. And this is what we can do now. The community looks forward towards that.
Yeah.
They not really concerned about Faris taking back that 4.3. All they know is that Councillor Ryan Abbasar told them they're getting this amount of work this year. And when I cannot deliver that, it erases the trust and that respect. It is very, very difficult to walk the streets and meet people now because you can hardly do anything for them. Right? And even you know what's the sad thing? Just yesterday, I used the regional corporations, backhoe and truck, to do patching along the Todd Station Road, which belongs to the Ministry of Works, which the MP for the area, Foster Commons, should be making representation, but he's not. And the councillor, with myself, I am not responsible, local government not responsible for this road. But here what? The councillor is the first man that get cost for the bad condition of the road. You understand? That's the position that we are in. So that situation where they taking back up the money, how it impacts the budgets and so on, is a very bad one. It's a very, very bad one. Now, it takes time, and as local government practitioners, I want to encourage my colleagues to go out and keep your lines of communication and keep your people informed. It takes quite a lot, but you have to do it. I mean, use the airwaves.
Yeah.
And
you're line of fire. You're the first line of fire. Yeah. For the wrath.
Yeah.
I say you the first line of fire for the wrath.
It's a fight.
Yes.
And you will continue being a fighter. Everybody know. Right? Well, you, Ryan Rampersad? Yeah.
He's a stalwart in the... and he's a sucker for punishment too. And of course, our condolences go out to I believe he's one of your Burgesses. Yes, stalwart of the ground report as well. I trust that his family and others, friends, and that he would have and acquaintances that he would have developed or associated with during his lifetime. I'm sure that they too would have missed him, as we clearly. Now having gotten the benefit of that information, will sorely miss him. He has always been a live wire and a very dedicated soul for the improvement of not only his own community, but nationally as well.
Ryan.
Andy?
But thanks so much, brother.
Okay,
thanks so much. And you continue to keep up your good work, partner. Keep up your good work.
Yeah,
Hard work is easy, and
Thank you very much.
hopefully God will bless us with our work, because God will bless people unless the work towards it, which is the people are trying to go out of work and want the Rowley PNM administration gone for we to get better governance under the UNC led by Kamla Prasad Bisesa. So let me see if it is that's what the people wants in next year. Please God.
Yes, indeed. And,
right, man.
The man's a fighter, no doubt, and in spite of the challenges that would have been posed by the removal of that essential lifeblood, which of course is funding, and this government will spare no, not even a whimper to, of course, once they perceive people to be their political enemies, they will of course try to starve, try to stymie, and try to of course generate animosity within the community at the local level, at the Burgesses level, at the electorate level. But we have a duty to let people know where to target or to focus your animosity. It must be at central government because of the level of incompetence, their vindictiveness, and their evil, and their incompetence at the same time, and their corruption and nepotism that has become stereotypical of the Rowley administration, led, of course, or within an organization that has morphed itself into a criminal enterprise. That means, Andy, should go back to the headlines, or you want to, of course, engage the public?
No, let me engage the public. Let me engage the public. All right. So I'll start by engaging the public by playing some of these voice notes and them.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me play some of these voice notes and them.
So people, you know now what has been the agenda of this government. They do it in Tobago, and they have no qualms in doing it in Trinidad, even though they are peddling this so-called property tax that will transform and is the panacea to solving local government.
You remember this? So you remember Sam? You remember Sam? Remember Poppy Petier again?
Yes. Yeah, I remember very distinctly. He will come here. In fact, he visited here once or twice since we moved to George Street. And
he comes to George Street too?
Yeah. He's a good friend of my assistant. They would have communicated pretty often. And when you don't hear from them for a lengthy period, something like that could well be, as is the case, and I want to say the same thing, but in this case, a speedy recovery for Mr. Freeport, because we have not been hearing him, but of course he is convalescent. He's recovering from a heart attack that he got here.
He's still around. Well, I hope you're speedy recovery, Mr. Freeport, but Everybody must know this short Indian man with the white beard, boy.
Yes, yes.
Every struggle, that man out there with we wearing his some jersey.
Yeah, they don't
I
make
the
them
short man
like that again.
I
They
die
don't
him
make
there
them
in the blue day. Man gone already, man gone.
Yes, yes,
Oh boy, let me play some voice notes there. Whoa.
Trinidad and Tobago. On to the ground report, mighty K. LENNOX Smith and the mighty Pitbull. This way of this government behavior is so ungrateful. They live, they eat, they care about none of us. We dying in the street every day. No food. Some people, I know of many people can't even afford a proper meal. And this government continue with the wicked ways. What I would like to see is that all the people of Trinidad and Tobago could be red, white, black, all come together and we hit the street. I just waiting for this call. The reason why I'm calling this program is that life is lost in every day. So if we go out on the street and some of us die, so be it, because you're dying in your home. So people, whenever I hear that clarion call, to hit the EBC, because this government controls every single thing. Look at the Japonia laws, that man they call Stuart Young and implementing every day. It's only tax. We have a lot of industry, the cocoa industry, sugarcane, petrotren. What else all they want? We have no job, no money. When you go to people and you ask for help, they turn you down the ball, they can't help. So I don't know what else all they want me to do. And I'm telling Trinidad and Tobago this. You see, when coming to property tax, and this government coming to my home to play the season, they had to do one thing, kill me first, and then enter my home. I defending my house with everything I have, all the power I have. I don't care how they look at it. Anytime they come into my home to seize it from me, kill me first. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago. Do let nothing keep all the back from hitting the street. This government is too might. They're eating down everything. I hope all would understand that. Tobago, as I said again, you do it. It's time for us to do it. And we want your support too. Trust in the mighty God, the mighty hero, and he will take care of all the demon that surround that PNM government. Thank you.
Yeah, I also heard that ancient Ishmael is supporting Kamal on the UNC. Oh boy, let's see how that go. Let's see how that go.
Well, you will have a plethora, frankly, of metamorphosis of changing. The like chameleon, you know, they're changing like a 24 hours. They're changing. So I am not surprised. We had anticipated that. Because they now realize for sure that the pendulum is swinging in favor of the UNC. So what you're going to have, not only these elements that are external to the direct political operatives that manage the affairs of the country, but even persons within, and thus, of course, the implosion of the PNM itself, as people, of course, juxtapose, because after all, they realize that there is life after Rowley and after the PNM, and they have to live here, particularly the younger ones who still have careers to pursue and who still have to eat and drink for many years thereafter. Whilst, of course, Rowley may be on his, let's say, on his latter stage of being on Earth, and therefore they want to make certain that they position themselves at least to minimize the animosity and the recriminations that will be coming their way, having of course done what they have done for 10 years under the Rowley administration, wicked to the people, evil to the people, and mismanage the affairs, and of course engage in self-serving corruption of the degree that is unprecedented in this country.
All right, let me play some voice notes here again.
Go ahead, my friend.
PNM in general, and we can't get it. And these are the serious problems we have in this country. And this shows us that it does not matter what face they paint as the political leader of the People's National Movement, it doesn't matter who sits at that helm. It does not matter. So long as it is the Palisade, we are going in government, we are going to get more of the same. We are going to get increase in crime. That tends to happen when they're in office. We are going to get high import bills because that benefits whomever they wish to benefit. We are going to get reduction in foreign exchange. We're already talking about devaluing the dollar. May we put God out of our thoughts and vote them in again for another 5 years, bringing them up to 15. Definitely going to devalue the dollar. The conversation has already begun. We are going to have increased taxes. And this is what we have grown accustomed to, or rather, we ought to see it. We ought to be able to read it. This is what they are known for. They are a government of taxation. They are a government of oppression. They are a government of victimization. And for that reason, if no other, we need to put a stop to it. And if election is called in the morning, we need to go out in our numbers and vote them out. We cannot tolerate 41-0. We cannot tolerate anything other than a whitewash. We cannot tolerate anything other than the complete removal and annihilation of this failed administration that consistently blames the last administration, which last saw government 9 years ago. We cannot accept that. That is failure at the highest order. Every time there's something in their manifesto or a promise that they make that they cannot fulfill, they blame somebody else. They blame Kamala. I disagree with that modus operandi. I disagree with that mantra. And I say that together with all of their failures, all of their charges, all of their allegations, out the door for them. What was the phrase you used earlier? You want to run them out?
Yes,
run them.
How much money you will thief every single day, every single week? How much money you need to survive? While poor people suffering, children cannot get medical care, they cannot get food, and we feel comfortable. Right? But like I tell you, at the end of the day, people need to come together. Whoever leads the UNC is whoever we need to support. If Kamala continues to lead the UNC, then we have no choice. Everybody needs to come together under one umbrella. I don't know what Michaela trying to do, but it's not working. I tell you as it is. Unfortunately, Michaela, you don't have the political stock to pull the people for them to vote for you. Unfortunately, that is the reality of it. Richard, you have 3 minutes.
At the end of the day, the point that whoever leads the United National Congress, which has been Kamala Persaud says for quite some time, and she has been elected, and she's not due for re-election for some many years to come. She has been the political leader. She has been prime minister. She has won the political leader of her party not once, not twice, but thrice, while the PNM in comparison are hiding from their election. She has led the United National Congress into government in 2010, and if and all signs point to this, she will continue to be the leader going into 2025 general election, then I fully endorse support to the United National Congress in their drive to depose the PNM of office, and I endorse all of the good work that the UNC did, that government did in 2010, and I cannot wait to see what will be done in 2025 or whenever the next election is called. And but like I tell you,
Andy, good morning to you, Mikey, and Lennox. Bless morning to you, my brothers. Andy, this Big Ram here, bro. I just want you to know, yellow is the code. So is the code for my country, my adopted country, America. Blue is the code, and it's that. Have a blessed day, my brother. Take care and be safe.
I hope program will paying this central woman who come and chase that, you know. All they go around is that, or she pay attention, you know. And is that anybody use and is that or they call central and only get she something for that, you know. All right, let me continue here.
Since you guys talking about Tobago, I remember when Polly first came into government, I spoke to one of the members in his office, and I suggested to them this business with seaweed farming, and they told me that they were on it and they were like going to like start developing that. So my question, since you guys are talking about Tobago now, like whatever happened to that business? Like I don't know if you guys know, with seaweed you could like develop a whole bunch of products from that, like reusable plastics, medicines, and a whole bunch of other items that could actually be sold on an international level. And one thing about Tobago is they got a lot of seaweed. So I did remember speaking to someone from Farley's government, and they told me that they were going to start doing that. So my question is, like, what is the progress on that so far? And seaweed farming is a low overhead business. All you have to do is just pretty much like map out an area of the ocean that you could use, put some stakes in, and then the seaweed grows in it automatically. It's low overhead, and the money that you can bring in, it's a lot. You know, I encourage you guys to look into that more, even in Trinidad.
Andy, morning, the ground report. I like your interview this morning, but I had one problem with it. You all should have bring that guy on when Gael come on, man. Let the wider Caribbean and the world here were going taking place here. I sure did. I like to hear that.
Good morning, LENNOX, my people, and everybody out there. Good morning. There's Tabia, what I feel. Good morning. Keep up the good work, Andy.
Andy, I just wanted to thank the councillor for patching the road, because I using that road because I working on that side since last year, and they never interfere with our road at all. Only this year before Rowley and Foster had some kind of meeting, and they sent the truck advertising it. Was the day after that, then I started to see them patching up the road, but they didn't completely fix it. But then and it was no big thing, it was just in the area. But what the councillor was talking about is the entire road that they really patch, and I want to thank him again for that. Thank you very much, brother, because I'm mashing up my car going up there to work every day.
Andy, good morning to you, Mikey, LENNOX, newbie, Cuff, and to everybody out there. Andy, well, I wasn't here yesterday to listen to the program, but I had to check something for somebody, so I went back to listen to it. And I heard one of your voice notes, one Vernon, talking about Kamala cancel the OPVs. I hope Mr. Vernon is listening. You see, this is why people wouldn't like me, and I don't care, right? I don't fall for lies, half-truth, innuendo, and propaganda. I don't fall for it. I correct it. Vernon, the OPVs were never in the country. It wasn't parked up in the big drain in the Beatham. It was a whole year late, and there was an effect on the boat. They canceled the boat. And the partnership government got $1.2 billion refunded, right? That money Mrs. Prasad Bisesa bought is either 12 or 16 Damon vessels, right? The PNM government collected the last one in 2016, right? We had vessels to patrol the borders. What did PNM do with it? Don't lie now. Tell the truth. What did they do with it? They put it in the graveyard in Stobels. They refuse to maintain the vessels. They refuse to buy gasoline for the vessels. So don't come and say Kamala cancel it. Or you just want to talk on one side all your mouth, right? Another thing.
I like that. Let me call Vernon because I want him to listen to that message. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me call the Baba, you know. I want him up. Yeah.
You talk to the man, let him listen, of course, to the council.
Yeah, you have to listen to the son of Smith. Remember, Vernon is a man.
Yeah,
Vernon is a man at the end of the day. Fernandez meet a set of people that he could influence. Yeah.
Very good, very good. And there is public irrefutable evidence on the subject. So therefore, is it that he has refused to read, or is it that one can say that he's being dishonest or disingenuous? All of those factors could be played into.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that Santa Cruz deal with Vernon. Look at Vernon.
Yeah.
Because we need Vernon to listen to what Santa Cruz say.
Yeah.
She want to dispute Vernon because he's a man, remember, as a Baba, he's a very, very good one, though. He meeting a lot of people. He have a lot of influence. And if he says something wrong, we have to let him know we're wrong. Morning, Vernon. Right. Miss Santa Cruz answered your question yesterday with your voice note yesterday. She said it was wrong and she answered the question. So I'm going and play she voice note now. So lock on and you will hear she answering one Vernon and the misconception. Yeah, so play it on again here. I'll play it in about 2 minutes. So we get enough time to lock on. Right?
Okay.
In 2 minutes, I'm going to play the voice note. I'm going to play the next one by the time. Let Vernon get himself together, man. When organize and let people know, vote for Kamala Pasalbi Sessa. And the PNM and the rowdy is not the same. And you always telling people, the both parties is the same. No, it's not the same at all. Look, Inshan Ishmael Vernon. Inshan saying right now he's supporting Kamala too. You know? Inshan say he's supporting Kamala too.
For them before. I vote for them before. When I for them, I tell you and my TK. Anytime I see two of the manifesto, the readout done, I turn against. And I mentioned that earlier. I say Manning supposed to be in jail for a church building. They start the investigation on the church and they abandon it. Why they abandon it? Why didn't jail Manning? Manning supposed to be facing trial for that. Manning ain't supposed to be dead. Manning supposed to be dead in jail.
Okay.
You understand me?
Yeah.
If I seen people doing wrong, my child must do wrong, and I was back myself because that's my bloodline. I didn't breed that bloodline. I doesn't look out for no hand from no party. I, as a man, I believe if I under a gunpoint and with my life at risk, I will not. I believe I will not beg my life because no bandit can go and boast and if you hear the baba ball, I am not born for my life. That's what I believe.
I balling for my kids. You're a strong man. All right, look.
Well, Andy, from what you said earlier, and from what I'm hearing now, I don't see. I got the impression that he was a sycophant, and of course, anything that that which he is attached to could do no wrong. But I have not seen it from the statements that he would have made just now. So. My own apology to him for, of course, getting that impression. Now that he has spoken, I am not of the view that he's a sycophant. Anything that he's attached to or believing could do no wrong. That is not the case from what he have just said on public radio and, of course, on social media. So thank you very much for that clarity, sir.
Nice. So 2 minutes time. Lock on your where my Santa Cruz said.
All right.
Yeah.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
All right, I'll go back to my Santa Cruz voice notes after. All right, I'll go back. Let me just give he enough time to lock on. Right, let's continue. Oh, this one here, this fella. He might be saying home and this. might be saying, oh, look, Miss Santa Cruz get on to Vernon, but like she didn't listen to Andy because I don't see he send a message already, this man. I'm sure I can remember he.
Randall Mitchell, let me tell you something.
No, this one?
Don't talk about, you want to compare other countries to here?
Not that one.
Andy, morning again, run, boy. Run for your life, boy, run. Miss Santa Cruz coming for you. Coming with a bull boy to crack some in your back. Run! You talk about the UNC, boy. When I talk about the UNC, you're questioning me, you're asking me all kind of thing. I just didn't put it in your words that you like. But we are trees. And I put it in the Trini language. Run for your backside. And the Pitbull Williams. Santa Cruz coming for you. Like, turn it up.
Oh God. What's man? Santa Cruz didn't come to me at all. I say what I was saying. Wait, no different. No, let me play.
We must have some comic relief in all of that, and of course, he was being facetious, but we understand the undertone and what he means. But
yes, by all nights, Santa Cruz, at the end of the day, just like how Vernon come and he talk, wherever it goes. So long she facts, the woman just come out. The woman just fight for the UNC. Yeah, everybody know now. Why? If you say UNC too hard, it's like the ears raised. It's like she just ready to bite. Yes, and she's right. Because when she do come to talk, she always brings the facts on what it is she's talking about. All right, so let me play he voice note this morning here now and can do them voice notes before I go back to Miss Santa Cruz.
Andy, pleasant good morning to you and everybody else. Andy, nearly $100 billion has been spent in WASA over the last 9 years. And government offices had to buy water from Blue Waters. Right here I'm telling you, Blue Waters, they have to buy it. I am hearing that the bill for Blue Waters, buying water from Blue Waters, bottled water from Blue Waters, the small one in the case, and the big bottle for the dispenser, over the last how much years, it come up to over $1 billion. I am hearing that. And this government has spent about $100 billion in WASA. And why the taxpayers still have to buy water from Blue Waters? Tell me why. Look at how wickedness is this, boy. The PNM always take the taxpayers' money and the money from the treasury to employ people and build the vote bank and to fix the conditions of the hospital and roads, etc. in this country. They don't care about that. They're building a food bank. That is what they're concerned about. They don't build country, they build a party. That is what they're building, a party. They have no love for no country. They only have love for their party and their policy house. Thank you, Andy.
Years of PNM rule, most recently, overall PNM rule in general, and we can't get it. And these are the serious problems we have in this country. And this shows us that it does not matter what face they paint as the political leader of the People's National Movement. It doesn't matter who sits at that helm. It does not matter. So long as it is the Palisade, we are going in government, we are going to get more of the same. We are going to get increase in crime. That tends to happen when they're in office. We are going to get high import bills because that benefits whomever they wish to benefit. We are going to get reduction in foreign exchange. We're already talking about devaluing the dollar. May we put God out of our thoughts and vote them in again for another 5 years, bringing them up to 15. Definitely going to devalue the dollar. The conversation has already begun. We are going to have increased taxes And this is what we have grown accustomed to, or rather, we ought to see it. We ought to be able to read it. This is what they are known for. They are a government of taxation. They are a government.
Right, but like I tell you, at the end of the day, people need to come together. Whoever leads the UNC,
Yeah,
whoever
we get that already, caller. We get that already. We played that this morning, earlier one day with Inshan and them, that Inshan supporting Kamala Prasad Bisasa. Right. So let me go back to Miss Santa Cruz voice note. Oh boy, level on. Nice. Let's go back to Miss Santa Cruz voice note.
Andy, good morning to you, Mikey, Lennox, newbie, Cuff, and to everybody out there. Andy, well, I wasn't here yesterday to listen to the program, but I had to check something for somebody, so I went back to listen to it. And I heard one of your voice notes, one Vernon, talking about Kamala cancel the OPVs. I hope Mr. Vernon is listening. You see, this is why people wouldn't like me, and I don't care, right? I don't fall for lies, half-truth, innuendo, and propaganda. I don't fall for it. I correct it. Vernon, the OPVs were never in the country. It wasn't parked up in the big drain in the Beatham. It was a whole year late, and there was an effect on the boat. They canceled the boat. And the partnership government got $1.2 billion refunded, right? That money Mrs. Prasad Bisasa bought is either 12 or 16 Damon vessels, right? The PNM government collected the last one in 2016, right? We had vessels to patrol the borders. What did PNM do with it? Don't lie now. Tell the truth. What did they do with it? They put it in the graveyard in stables. They refused to maintain the vessels. They refused to buy gasoline for the vessels. So don't come and say Kamala canceled it. Or you just want to talk on one side all your mouth, right? Another thing, you said Kamala said nothing about the money that was being given to the unions and them. And Mikey corrected you. Kamala said 10%, right? Kamala also said the raise in parliamentarians' salary, give it to the public servants. So I don't know if you were closing the fridge door. I don't know if you were standing in front of the fridge when she was talking. You see, that is all your problem, right? All you don't listen, but all you just want to talk. She said give the unions and them should have gotten 10%, and she said to take the salary increases for parliamentarians and give it to the public servants. Andy, good morning again to you and to everybody out here. Voice note number 2. Andy, well, I was pleasantly surprised to hear that Mr. Warner has put himself up. That as you say, anywhere Mrs. Prasad Bisasa wants him to run, he will go, right? And I'm hearing now you all talking about Inshan Ishmael. Well, he said it a long time ago that he supports Kamala. And he's asking everybody, you see how they all have to turn around now? And Lennox, you said something there this morning that I totally agree with, right? We are not going to sit down again and listen to no old talk, no lies, half-truth, innuendos, and propaganda from anybody. We're pushing back now because it's damn nonsense now. Now, Andy, I saw something amusing yesterday. You had me laughing. I thought that you were going to fall off your chair yesterday when the Bacchanal woman said what he said about me. Now you see where David Rudder got the motivation from to write that song Bacchanal Woman? From people like that. Andy, I am not coming after you once you're not lying. Right? Let's make that very clear. Once you're not coming with lies, half-truth, innuendo, and propaganda, I have nothing to say to you. You want to pull them up, but while we're pulling up the UNC, we also have to pull up the PNM. But like PNM getting a free ride to do what they want. But let's move on. I am going to come here and correct lies, half-truths, innuendo, and propaganda because that is only a tagline. Right? We bring proper information. Okay? And this person living in, let's say Grandy, but he knows what goes on with the 19 MPs. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. I can't understand that. And then you hear next one, Ryan, lied on Ryan Rampersad. And the truth came out. Okay? Now, you cannot tell me, and then when you question them about, so why you not, why you this or why that, then we hearing one, Kamala could take a call from Ian Allen, but she can't take a 2-minute call from he. And right away there now, you're hearing, they will come now on the radio station with a pack of lies and casting aspersion on people. That is wrong. And if all they don't like when I correct it, too bad. Too bad. I am going to do it because we have enough to fight off with the PNM to have to fight off with the UNC. So that's what I'm here for. And as I say, who don't like it, move to the side. We have an election to win. We have an election to win. And Andy, let me tell you something. When I hear something about a councillor or anybody, I find out, I find out because there's always your side, my side, and the truth. Right? That is why people wouldn't like me. I don't fly off the handle. I find out what's going on, and then I come. Like when the lady lied about Javid, right? And then the truth came out that because she couldn't get a retaining wall built in her place, that's what she did to Javid. That is what I stand for. And who don't like it, as I said, too bad.
All right, this is the second time today I hear someone mention this problem here. You guys have a problem with finding parts, apparently. So another suggestion that you guys could use with the UNC is they could start like a state-owned 3D printing business. 3D printing, and then like you could get more advanced and do CNC machining. Like most of the parts out these days have like STL files where you can simply, like, if you had a machine, you could simply print them out. So finding parts countrywide could be a problem that could be solved by that. And that would cost a lot of money, but it would need to be like a company-wide investment, someone with a lot of money. But that's something that could definitely transform the country also, 3D printing. I was trying to get into this with Philip Alexander, but he wasn't listening.
Andy Lennox, morning, Mikey K. I don't know if he doesn't get my voice. No, Lennox, Mike. Andy, I don't know if he doesn't get my voice note on mornings, but I just send voice note early. I sent a voice note about 6:48, and I didn't see a plate. But I'll tell you again. Did you see how Arnold Roberts mash up thieving, thinking, dirty, lying Ansel Dennis from Tobago, the Tobago senator with the choose? He tried to come out and sell false lies, all kind of thing about Sanders in Tobago, and Arnold Roberts destroying. I send you the video there. Do I have to send it again? I want to play the video so people can understand that Sanders was not going to benefit the people of Tobago in no kind of way. The evidence out there, Arnold said, Skippy said, Dr. Field said, everybody said the evidence out there. It was not benefiting Tobago, the documents and everything out there. I send you a video how we destroy and
I've seen it. It's 8 minutes and 13, 8 minutes and something. I can't play that. It's 8 minutes and something. And I'm going to play a voice note from this morning day that you say I am play. I ain't get that becoming a row scrolling if I don't see the voice note. So like someone they go send a voice and then they go send a message. But when I scrolling, what I will see is the message. So if I listen a voice note, don't send nothing else attached to that voice note. So you see like how you send the voice note and then you send a video. When I scrolling, I just see in a video. I wouldn't see that it have a voice note. You understand? But if you send a voice note alone, the first message I send them is just a voice note. When I'm scrolling through, I will see the voice note. But so long as you send a voice note with a message, whatever is the last thing you send is what I'll be seeing. Right? And I can't just press everything to go into say, hey, look, I wonder if this person send a voice note, but hey, I wonder. No. So I sure LENNOX Smith understand what it is I'm saying. They send a voice note alone. Don't have no attachment to it. So let me play the one that hide because you send a video right after. So I didn't know it had a voice note.
Morning and the morning, Lennox, morning, Mighty K. You can see how Arnold Roberts destroyed that wicked evil.
All right, well, I get that. You send back the same thing it had to be. So I get that. Let's continue to have other voice notes. And all who voice note in play is because or let's send some kind of attachment to it or something.
But just now, Cameron them go turn to Alan Ferguson because only school metal scrapyard and rusty old thing. Jack Warner, I hope when he come to support Kamala on a podium, he could tell us the truth whether Kamala is a lesbian.
Next, it was going good, right? But when Jack was supporting the PNM, you say here you supporting him. Jack was that big boy. Yeah. Well, we're going to say what Inchan. Inchan come on board too. You have somebody say what you do for this one? Oh, please.
Situational ethics, like the hypocritical men of the cloth.
Well, boy, if it is the sea,
but that is a political scavenger version.
But what's my for the is the type? If let me say the UNC come and pull you in and make you, oh God, he gonna go mad, no? Look at what they do. They put LENNOX Smith. Oh, boy, that man going and one bet. That man going and go mad. Why this Creole end up getting a position of power? He go mad, no, LENNOX.
Only because he would settle to be a parking technician. and see in others that which is in him. No, if you have a low self-esteem, a low standard and quality, I don't want to aim higher than your punching ability, then too bad for you. Nobody didn't tell you not to make use of your educational opportunities that all of us were exposed to, whether it be under PNM or under UNC or under the NAR. Nobody told you that. So therefore, you know, they grow to hate their own kind, even though you are dwelling among them. And that is the problem with these guys. Before you come and you coalesce and you interact and you defend and you promote, but instead they will bring for something them and all don't even know, for a criminal enterprise and a leader that has such a poor relationship or poor track record about women and of course the use of women as well. Come on.
Exactly. Oh boy.
Morning, Ground Report. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, LENNOX. And good morning, Mikey. And good morning to everybody who's on the chat. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And listener, last time I heard the Prime Minister, Mr. Early, speak, and he was talking about who live and who dead. And he was to speak about let the rich get richer, you know, and so something with the rich getting richer, something like that. So when I heard the statement, I was wondering, wait now, is Keith Rowley telling the population that nothing wrong with the rich getting richer, right? But the citizenry must live in filth and squalor? Is that his idea of being a prime minister? I thought the prime minister was supposed to advance the country and ensure the security of the country, and that people would, you know, they would enjoy the fruits of their labors and things like that. What is wrong with this prime minister? Look, I go on, yes, God bless.
Andy, good morning again. Just another little correction to Vernon. It wasn't the partnership government that dropped the case against Patrick Manning. It was the DPP. He said, and I quote, that Manning was too sick to take to court. And that was a whole set of hogwash because we saw Manning in Skinner Park. We saw him walking the highway. We saw him campaigning for Randall Mitchell. I got on another radio station and I said that if Hosni Mubarak could be taken to court on a stretcher, why couldn't Patrick Manning, if he was so sick, be taken to court on a stretcher? So it wasn't the partnership government that dropped the case. It was the DPP that dropped that case against Patrick Manning. I agree, Patrick Manning should have been in jail for what it is he did. Right? You take taxpayers' money to build a church in Guanapo for your spiritual advisor and lied about the designs? No. People who want to paint Patrick Manning in a good picture, he was just as sneaky and sleazy as Rowley. But he did it in a more ethical way, if you could say that. Thanks, Andy.
That's
Andy dressed up in school uniforms yesterday, went and put on a robbery. Right? I want him.
Let me hear that again. Bandits, they dress up in school uniform? Every man tell me that.
Yeah. They have moved from police uniform, so they have gone to school uniform now.
Now you hear boy school uniform they're rubbing with now, boy.
Andy, bandits dressed up in school uniforms yesterday, went and put on a robbery. Right? I wonder if Gatsby Dolly go call back all them school uniforms now that the bandits using uniforms for robbery. What if she go call it back? But you see, that's the kind of stupidity that going on in this country. You know the fella who they kidnapped, right? Nobody in have a lead until he whereabouts right now, but they're calling back uniform from the police. Nothing for the fella, going in 2 weeks. He missing. Boy, this country upside down, yeah, Andy. It's really upside down. Have a good day.
When political parties join, they usually merge their manifestos together. So when Philip joined with the UNC, like my question now is what policies from his party did he bring over to the UNC? He had this policy that I loved a lot, his recall policy, where if the government is doing bad within like a certain period of time, you guys have a right to recall them. He was pushing that with his party. So now that he's with the UNC, how come we don't hear the UNC like adopting that or adopting any of Philip's policies into their party? My question again.
Lennox, tell me which part Mr. Paulus will have this big technician work. I like to carry a trophy made of feces. He deserves that.
Where Salvatore was.
Mr. Buckles, tell us why Pando was released from prison. Because they said of his age and he was too sick. You have convenient memory. That tell you just like Bacchanal. You like a real cockot.
I'm sure she has the capacity to disabuse that piece of misinformation, because it was the appeal court that asked the progenitors to, of course, address the court on the question of undue political interference. That is what generated his release. Undue political interference. The role of the then Attorney General, and that in collusion with the then sitting magistrate, Sherman McNichols and that of John Jeremy. That is what caused it. A concoction of the PNM, as we saw, of course, with the recent iteration of that kind of approach to try to sully people's character and personality by exploiting the law enforcement agencies, as we saw, of course, with the Vincent Nelson matter, a perfect case of undermining the criminal justice system, the perversion of the course of criminal justice, and they will have to pay for it. It's a clear case. Clear case.
Hi, morning, guys. You know something? I was looking at the garbage truck this morning when it was passing. And I was looking at these guys who were just running, picking up the garbage bags, or the bags with garbage, I should say, and just flinging it on the drain. If anybody could sponsor 22 garbage bags for me to put all them PNM MPs in, all, so that the garbage collectors could pick up the 22 bags with the MP and fling them on the garbage truck and take them straight to the labas. Maybe if that could happen, then we will be able to have some peace and we could look to start cleaning up this country. You understand? And when we finish with the 22 of them, we can get more bags to put all them PNM in, fling them in the garbage truck, and repeat the performance straight to the labas. That is the way we will get the opportunity to save and rescue Trinidad and Tobago. Are fed up of all of them in the PNM who destroying this country day after day. Yesterday I watched that here and I have come to the conclusion we, Trinidad, we are just left to the mercy of the criminals. We have no police in this country to deal with crime. Yes, they will deal with the tint. They will deal if you break at the light, if you park on the wrong side of the road. Yes, we have police for that. But when it comes to the serious critical matters of people who dying and getting killed every day, guess what? Trinidad didn't have no police. All you who voting for PNM, continue destroying this country. Continue destroying the country. All the ones who know better, all you know all they had to do, right? And let me start by getting the garbage bag and flinging all of them and carry them to the labas. That is the only solution I see for these, look now, for these PNM. Blessings, guys.
Tall man, listen and learn. Ignorance is no excuse. Listen and learn. You hear what Lennox told you? But we were not talking about Pandey. The gentleman spoke about Manning should have been in jail. Patrick Manning. You hear? He's the one that should have been in jail. You want to deal with Pandey? You call and deal with Pandey. But we will educate you on this program. We will educate you.
Good morning, Andy, Lennox, Ground Report. I'm really glad that Munsami debunked all of the barbers, I think it's Vernon or whatever his name is, PNM propaganda. Why is it that these so-called independents always expect UNC to be perfect in order to vote for them? We're in a time where Trinidad is almost on the verge of reaching Haiti status. Multiple robberies every day. There's multiple murders and kidnappings every day. But these people like Vernon or whoever his name is, the barber, still expecting UNC to be this perfect party before he votes for them. I will say it over and over again. People like that who who's spewing that sort of narrative are PNM agents. You see, PNM uses all sorts of strategies, psychological warfare, in order to win an election, you know. So they know they could use the race narrative for their base. They just had to spew race, and the base will vote for them. But then it have the independent thinkers, it have the people who on the border, it might have the moderate PNM voter. The one who don't always vote hardcore PNM. Right? They will vote NAR, they will vote UNC, but they love their PNM, eh? But you know, the PNM do them all bad, right? They will say, oh God, I've vexed for PNM, so I'll go vote otherwise. And these are the people that they will use Vernon or whatever it is, the barber. They will use the barber, fellas like the barber, to speak into the ears of these moderate PNMites and the independents that, you know what? Both the PNM and the UNC is the same, so you know what? Better you vote for your own. I said this already, what day it was. This is all about is a psychological warfare being used by the PNM right now, and they're using these agents to put in the minds of the PNM voters or to put in the minds of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Since UNC and PNM are the same, vote for your own. Vote tribal, in other words. Vote tribal. Or if you don't vote, basically PNM wins by default, because at the end of the day, their base is going to, I don't believe all, I believe it's going to have a serious reduction this time, right? But nevertheless, if people do not go out and vote for UNC, then even their smaller base will still put them back in office. And this is what these kind of fellas not thinking about. I believe he knows that. I believe he knows that. I believe that. I believe he's a PNM agent. This man talking like a...
Now we finish the voice note. He say Vernon talking like a PNM agent. Let's finish it. Well, boy, Vernon, everybody answering back Vernon, boy.
PNM agent spewing PNM lies. Lie after lie, Moonsami, I'm debunking. Lie after lie. He come again just out there with a next lie. Philip Alexander did not join the UNC. He said he is putting his support behind the UNC. He is contesting certain constituencies under PAP banner. He didn't join no UNC. And this man only studying about manifesto and studying about all sorts of different things that are not necessary at this point in time. The point, the mission right now is to get rid of the PNM. That's supposed to be the mission.
Nice. Morning, Mikey K. Pleasant good morning to you. Oh, boy. Yes, yes.
Good morning, pleasant good morning to you, my brother Andy Pitbull Williams. Morning to you, LENNOX Smith, and our technical director. And of course, we are live on Gael TV. So our CARICOM brothers and sisters, good morning, as well as those on Real Media, TT, Facebook, and YouTube. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Now, I was just looking at the fact that Minister of Tourism and Culture and the Arts, Randall Mitchell, said that, you know, he has nothing to take back. He was willing to clarify that comment to ensure it's taken in the spirit in which it was said.
Is listening? Is you put that here, you know?
Yeah, he said that he is. Well, he got quite a backlash on social media and from members of the public and the opposition yesterday. He said he reminded the public exactly what was said in Parliament on Tuesday. He said you have to talk to those people who travel outside of TNT, or you have to travel yourself to the Caribbean or Canada, the US, or the UK. Travel and go and see in those countries what the high cost of living really looks like and feels like. So he's sticking by it. If you think you have problems here, you have a lot to be appreciative for. What you need to appreciate, we don't know if it's dead babies in the NICU. You should be appreciative of the fact that you're unemployed, you're on the breadline, you're no longer part of the middle class, that has been kicked out, you have no money in your savings, you have no money to send your children to school. All of that you should be thankful for. And if by chance, the fact you have no money and you cannot travel beyond these shores, well, if you get a chance to win a lottery, a ticket, whatever, and you get to go out there, you'll be very thankful that what you have here, which is nothing, is is worse than what's out there. So I can't even make sense of it. Again, 1,000 writers in Hollywood couldn't put this whole script together. And the man sticking by it. If you don't like it, go and listen. At this point in time, I can't blame Randall Mitchell. I mean, come on. If you've governed in that manner of disrespect for the last almost 10 years, is everybody jumping in the fray? Junior, senior, middleman, everybody is the same level of disrespect. Go from here. I can make a nasty statement, whether my mic on or off. He wasn't sorry for the comment, He was sorry that it was caught on the mic. That's what he was sorry for. But one can even think what they talk about in the tea room when they huddle in the little corner, all the nasty and vile things that come out their mouth. So I can't blame Randall. This is it. Yeah. And would you not say nasty things if you know you can get away with it? And as well as the people will allow you to get away with it? So the man is, hey, if you don't like it, travel and go.
Well, my conclusion here, in addition to what I said yesterday, that he had nothing to say, and of course he said something, is that there is a saying, a very sage saying, that a person who is doing wrong, in this case saying wrong, and believes he is doing right, or saying right in this case, is extremely dangerous. And it is dangerous to himself, and clearly dangerous to those who see him as some kind of pillar, and would want, of course, to emulate. And the things that he would say, maybe the veracity of which cannot be questioned for some. Well, of course, that is where the danger is. So people, of course, we have disabused that. And all I've said, and I'll reiterate, that if he can influence the government to get the United States, Canada, etc., to provide visa and accommodating Trinidadians, and open up the gate, just open the gate, and see where they would prefer to go. Instead of hogwash and BS, frankly. So I think these fellas are cognitively and intellectually in decline, frankly.
Yeah, so true. Hey, Vernon, good morning. Yeah, Andy, go ahead.
Yes, he getting blessed.
He make it in the mainstream, boy. Vernon make it just there in the barbershop, upset, for no reason whatsoever. Poor fella.
Yeah,
misguided, emotional, locked in emotions. You won't come out and try to be pragmatic and realize what's going on. But you can't blame him to the toxins and them spray and things put on
Santa Cruz and Nathaniel and all of them, they correct him. That he wrong about the church and it wasn't the people partnership who let go Manning, it was the DPP. All right, so that was corrected. Santa Cruz also corrected him with the OPVs. He said they send back the OPVs, that was the border, so Santa Cruz correct him and let him know, well, they receive back $1 billion and something dollars and they use that money.
That's right.
7 Daymon vessels.
That's
and all
right.
that. So
as far as I corrected me yesterday on the 4%, Kamala Prasad made it quite clear 10%. 10%. And also dealing with their cost of living as well. So it's a lot of perks. So it's more than 10%. Yeah, Vernon, you only hearing things conveniently, and that's the problem. People losing the essence of the truth in that transition. And that's what's going on. There's disturbance in that transition. So for whatever reason, you're only hearing certain things, bits and pieces, but you have to get down to it and read and listen and participate. You have to participate. How else you going to know?
Nice.
Who we have there? And do we have any calls? We have any voice notes? Who we have?
Yeah. Voice notes.
Honor again, Trinidad and Tobago. LENNOX, this one is to you, boy. No, they don't pay for it. We, the people, have to pay for it. Always. We had to pay for their foolishness.
What was on my front burner for the past few weeks? Artificial intelligence. So this is the story, like personally with me. I have a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, two girls, and they're about to go into college. And like I'm trying to teach them that they have to pick like a career path that is going to include artificial intelligence, because what is the sense picking a job like a lawyer or something like that, and then come 2 years down the line, artificial intelligence comes and takes that job away. So I'm trying to get her into like really advanced and really like scientific wise stuff. So this is like stuff that is actually happening here today in the United States. So my question, since I'm talking about artificial intelligence, that is going to hit you guys, Trinidad and Tobago, like an atomic bomb. Like, you guys still use clerks to file papers away instead of having a website with a database that does that automatically. So when AI comes to Trinidad, what is going to happen with the crime situation when a whole bunch of people lose their jobs? So my vision, hopefully, since Kamala did mention something like that in Parliament, she like just like touched on it, but you know, you really, as a country, everybody needs to be thinking about artificial intelligence and the damage it's going to do in the future. So any government coming into power, this should be on their like main priority. And I don't know if you realize they have this BRICS conference that's going on right now in Russia. Venezuela actually is starting this new university where it's going to concentrate on sharing technology between the BRICS countries. This actually happened yesterday. So these countries, like right next to you, are making plans for artificial intelligence in their governments. And another thing regarding this currency devaluation. The first thing the PNM should have done when they came into office was devalue the dollar. It should have been like around 12 to 1 by my calculations. And even though it would have caused like immediate pain in the country right then, it would have led to like foreign investors coming into the country because they see that they can get more bang for their buck, their money in the country. That is like some of the benefits of devaluation. You will hurt the people, but you also encourage foreign investment. So them devaluing the dollar now is actually kind of stupid if you ask me. There's other ways to make money, and I've like given you a whole bunch of plans.
Your plans and the manifesto police is good, no partner. First, again, we had to win the elections. Besides that, you're talking artificial intelligence when we all know recently it had some glitch with TSTT where who files get pulled up and this and that. Remember the talking to cashless society. And look, you actually admit that we still files things in books and all them things. So that will hit Trinidad and Tobago no time soon. Because look how much things it have out there that is modern, that are not being used in Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time. It is what it is, right? But when a new government come in, they will have to organize and shoops, put it together. That still kinds of happen, bam, one time neither. So it's not that you're not making good thing, but what we try to always show is it just cannot happen now.
No, with all due respect, I mean, really and truly, there has to be some, amount of conversation that really and truly we need to commit, a length of time with what we expect. I agree with him on that. It is time that we start having these conversations. Look, man, what can we expect for those who are socially vulnerable? What can we expect for the mothers of cerebral palsy children? All of these things, we need to have conversation. But I think you hit the point there as well, Andy. In order for us to even start to get there, to make it a reality with all of these great ideas, and it's good that he comes and he tells us what's happening, of course, globally, because we must prepare the next generation to definitely be able to compete on the global market. As all of that is there, we still first must be demanding free and fair elections. in this country. And that should be one of our main concerns. Again, $10 million was allocated in the budget for the EBC. And up to now, we don't know what. All we were told is that there's going to be some new system and it's going to be an election management system. Under this administration, all of these systems have failed. All, even independent offices have been politically compromised. What kind of faith or confidence can we put in any system by this government when in fact we know that we want to live better and we know that what's keeping us from living better is the fact that these people are still in office. They are not going to just shift to the side and allow us to come in. They are getting away with these things because we are allowing them to. We need to come out in as much as possible now. If you're saying enchant this one, it's all good and well. It's good to call names and this one to say they're endorsing. But this country right here, if we intend to save it, we need to make a shift away from the egos, make a shift away from the ambition a bit, just for a bit, and make sure the focus is the EBC. Nothing will become a reality if the EBC gets its way. We want accountability and transparency. And we want it most of all at the EBC. That's it.
Nice, nice. Oh boy, let me play some voice notes by the time. I play some voice note by the time. Boy.
Andy, how are you going to get into office if you don't have a vision for the country? Everything I'm laying out for you is stuff the government should be telling the people for their vision of the country in order for them to vote for them. Get it?
Understood. Oh God, boy, manifesto police. You're like Santa Cruz, boy. You're very determined. I like that. You're standing up strong. Let me continue.
Mr. Randall Mitchell, for the stupidness that you talk in Parliament regarding people should go outside there and take a tour in another country. Take a big fat for that. Tips for you.
Andy Lennox, Mighty Game Morning. My friend brother this morning is about carnage. Western Main Road carnage is like you're going through the brokers. And the insult is that in Bayshore, with few cars, right, come out of that part of West Maureen on a daily basis. They are paving the entire West Maureen. And in Carnage, Shagamas, is only patch. This is an insult to the commuters on a daily basis coming out of Shagamas Carnage. Where their priority is, you can see where their priority is. And people are offended at how this administration blatantly don't care about the citizens. And this is a perfect example. Drive down and take a look into West Maureen. It have roads where you cannot enter. It's private. Only resident living in there can enter, but they pave there. Private road, you know, taxpayers' money. Lockdown and listening.
I want to ask you a question this morning. If the DPP throw away the case against Manning for that church in Guanapo, let me tell you what happened to that. The diplomatic center, it take $50 million from that money and build that church in Guanapo in Arimadi, by the land side. Right? That way he put the spiritual leader by the lambs. That way they fit for. And how PNM like to use those demons and call them spiritual leader. What do they try to make people feel? That them so pious? When they shooting it back to some demons from the bottomless pit of hell. I'm coming back to my point. If the DPP threw away the case and it was a matter to be investigated, why did Kamla didn't do something more about it. So this DPP has so much powers. He could do what he want. And Kamla and them, they sit down there like sitting ducks. But I sometimes I just wonder, something was in she head, in she brains. Or she was quick to go and drink something. Boy, that'll make me sick in the boy. $30 million.
Oh boy, let's continue those voice notes there. Almost.
Well, Annie, it is clear that that caller doesn't understand the role of the DPP. The DPP is responsible for all, independently, constitutionally, for all criminal matters in this country. That is the law. So there's nothing Kamla or anybody could have done, whether even in a previous administration or current administration. Let's get it clear there.
Nice. The caller heard that right? Let's go.
Good morning, report. Yes, there may be higher cost of living abroad, but what you need to check is the minimum wage and the high level of service delivered.
So true, caller. Next voice note.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Manaval here. For too long have we been hearing in the parliament, people are using parliamentary privilege to launch personal attacks on one another, right? I mean, look at what happened recently with Stuart Young. He get catch on a hot mic. He didn't apologize for what he said, no. He apologized for getting catch on the mic, saying what he said about the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bissessa and another female MP, who I believe it may have been Julie John, I'm not too sure, right, about what they're going to do when they go to the washroom and so on and so forth, right? Why does this have to be tolerated under the guise of parliamentary privilege? You know that in St. Vincent, there is a law, I believe, in the St. Vincent, with respect to the St. Vincent parliamentary systems, right, where you cannot use parliamentary privilege to launch personal attacks on MPs and so on and so forth. In fact, I remember Ralph Gonzalez had actually brought up something in a parliamentary debate that was not pivotal to the actual. It was not related to the topic that was being debated, right? And he was actually struck down by the Speaker of the House, right? And said that, and he was actually suspended, I believe, for that, right? We have to institute something like that in our parliament, where once you're in the parliamentary chamber, you can only speak about the item that is being debated and whatever you're talking about. Once you're on your legs or once you're in the chamber, you cannot use the chamber to launch personal attacks. And any personal attacks being launched in the parliament against parliamentarians or other persons should be liable to court and prosecution. Right? They should be able to be prosecuted in a court of law. Right? So that would prevent people like Small Pin and them from talking about people bathroom activities and whatever it is and making them kind of nasty stink allegations. And with respect to Port of Spain, right, I have to remind Port of Spain that there's PNM that legalized sodomy. And I call it sodomy. They say buggery. But PNM legalized that. PNM, under the PNM, we have pride parades all over the country now. Under the PNM, right, they legalized marijuana for little children to be able to buy weed and smoke in school, right, and in small amounts, right? You have little children selling bamboo elements and all kind of thing all over Port of Spain for people to buy and wrap weed, right? If you walk down Charlotte Street, you're going to see it. That happened under the PNM, not under the UNC. What did the UNC do? What did the partnership do for education and for children in this country? What did they do? Right? They provided laptops. They provided school grants. Right? They built schools. They put certain measures in place for educational advancement in this country from primary school from early childhood education, right up to university level. What did the PNM do? They shut down gate and they set up, they remove the laptops and they take away the book grant, and now I hear they want to take away the box lunch, right? So poor children will have nothing to eat when they go to school, right? The next thing I hear now, right? And also under the PNM wanted to introduce something called the Child Friendly Schools Initiative, right? Which was supposed to introduce gender identity education in schools, where a boy could be a girl and a girl could be a boy, right? That is what they wanted to teach. And if it wasn't for fellas like Omar Abdullah and the first wave movement, right? That would have been in our children's school bags from this term, right? Why put a spin and talk about that? All right? Have a wonderful day. Blessings, gentlemen.
If I can, Andy, on the question of the parliamentary privilege, what he spoke of is enshrined and is part of the standing orders of the House. The extent to which the presiding officers, whether it be the Speaker or the President, enforces it is another story. Of course, I agree that beyond that you cannot take them to court, but there is something that substitutes that, which is of course being taken before the Privileges Committee, which comprises of course of members on both sides, and then of course they determine a sanction. We saw that happening to Rowley in the latter days of the leading up to the 2015 general elections, where he was suspended, having been taken to the Privileges Committee. He had to stay out of Parliament for a lengthy period.
Caller, we have a caller. Morning, caller. So that's it for voice notes for now. Go ahead, callers. So all the callers, you can call 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call too at 366-3053, 366-3053. You can send your voice notes by the time. Welcome to the Ground Report, caller. What's your contribution this morning?
Good morning to you all, gentlemen. I am calling from Tobago. Let me say something. I have family, I have friends living in Canada and America, holding high posts, and they said no way they want to come back to Trinidad and Tobago. So I don't know what it is that that morning I was coming around the yard and I look on the news. I was saying so properly. So I get a little closer to the radio and I know this one talking about people want to see suppers going to other countries and this and this and that and all these kind of things. Right? What is this man for real? You telling people that Trinidad legally off here? So I asked my madam, I said, who is this? Who is that man who, because I wasn't acquainted with his voice, he said one of the PNM men from the one of the PNM ministers. I said, my God, I really wish you were going. Because if you could be a minister talking all this foolishness, my God, what is it? Well, look, I call this man, what they call him there, the big man there. And since then, it's the night I called him at the end of talking about Rowley and all this kind of thing. At the end of his speech or whatever it is, he's saying his leader is not a drunkard. How that comes in? How that? Boy, these people are sick to the core. They are sick people. And like all them going mad. You all have a good day.
Thank you, Tobago. Next caller. Morning caller, where you calling from? And what's your contribution on the #1 program, the Ground Report, this morning?
Morning, I'm calling from St. Augustine. And my question is, are there any avenues whereas anybody had the powers to question the GPP on his decision what he'll make sometime? Thank you, sir.
Lennox Smith.
Now, it seems as though once he makes that decision, that's it. Nobody has questioned by way of judicial review such a decision. He is so totally responsible for all criminal matters. In fact, even if you bring it as a private one, which I had the experience of, and of course the DPP tendency to withdraw that matter, the magistrate was of course amazed and appalled. But he said he has no choice. He's totally responsible for under our constitution. All
That's right.
matters, yeah.
Now you help power boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just as the president, when can be locked up and can, at least it's still have things in place to discipline a president, not so? Or no?
Well, the thing about it.
Kamala tested it recently. We remember when Rowley took back those went and influenced the shortlist for commissioner of police. Well, there is provision where she can initiate an impeachment process, which of course was started but was aborted as soon as it reached the level of the parliament. But,
Right, so he's the head of state. So the president is the head of state, and the DPP have that important role, and it have nothing there to be able to, let me say, pull up on, let me say, a rogue DPP or a DPP who all evidence shows somebody because they had that power. They say, "Hey, I don't want that case. Drop that case." Or, "Hey, I'm taking that case." So it have no clauses there to at least have him hold responsible or accountable.
No,
Just asking.
if he goes mad, if he resign, if there is a public disquiet and hung him out, outside of that, he is difficult to remove as politically.
So you could imagine, Andy, if one was to puppet such an office, have full control to pull the strings, as the case may be, how valuable that would be. So yeah. So you picture that now, all of that power combined in the wrong hands and definitely in the wrong mind, and add that to 5 years, another 5 years of your life. And that's what you're going to get. Yeah. It's not scary now because maybe many people haven't entertained this thought or phantom of what happened, but that is definitely what's going to happen. And I think as we draw closer, that is starting to hit people. Now, it's all good and well to have the conversation for the manifesto. It's all good and well that we have conversations about the future and what we expect from the incoming administration. But we cannot lose focus on the fact that in order to make all of this a reality, and the main objective is to live better, we have to keep our eyes on the EBC. We have to be the observers if they don't want to bring in observers. And we must demand the transparency. And we go down there, you don't wait for nobody to tell you or to get approval or somebody to sign your form. This is about you, regardless of what party you're involved in. This is about you. You can't wait for somebody to tell you, come down and let's get together and save this country. Now listen, we hate the economy. We hate the healthcare system. We hate the education system. We hate the poor infrastructure. We hate the fact that, crime. We hate all of these things. Now we have all of that hate to put towards these things, but we don't have enough love to unite. I mean, come on, man. Let me make sense.
Let me make sense.
Let's make sense.
Son, good morning to you, Paula. What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, and good morning, breaking news. This man, one of the station. Together, it disappeared. It can never be true. What it can be, we should do is not only station because it's
Well, boy. Well, the businessman, well, we hope he get back if I am. It's missing a station, boy.
And just for
They had a loan if I am, like if you had to go away and all these things, it's supposed to leave it at a station. And now leaving your farm at a station, well, now it's alleged there by one of the callers that breaking news, a firearm disappeared from a station and the man is who ain't go. Why wonder the rest of the world is be watching at me, boy?
Boy, they don't know. They really don't know. And just to let people know, apparently there was some protests on Ryson Road by TNTech there on Ryson Road. So we're gonna perhaps get more about that.
No, we causing traffic and then
They said there's no traffic, but a lot of people big protest by that TNTech there on Ryson Road.
All right, we'll find out because TNTech has be removed from there all entirely. But by way of clarity and to make sure that we are clear on the subject, the president generally is immune from any kind of prosecution. So the DPP can touch her, he or she, once they're in office with the longest road that they may have. Just to make sure that we understand that. But there's a mechanism, of course, to remove the president, as was tested by Kamala Prasad Bisesa on that issue relating to the short list that Dr. Rowley admitted eventually that he made an intervention as far as the Police Service Commission is concerned and initiated the entire resignation of the entire commission.
Wow. Caller, pleasant good morning to you, caller. We're calling from, and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning? Welcome.
Blessed morning, Andy, Lennox, and Mikey. Andy, I want you to go when you leave family or send somebody to the grocery store to get candles, petrol, and see if they get a generator. As we speak, TNTech workers has put down tools by all major stations. Ryson Road, San Fernando, Arima, and somewhere else, as we speak, protesting. So if you see lights going and nobody coming to this rescue, well, so it be, we might go, the one go cashless, we might go lightless just now, and currentless. Because see, this government trying to bully the whole country and taking over the work of the CPO, offering people money, and that is very illegal. The government can't offer nobody nothing. So, just wanted to bring that to their attention, just in case. Thank you.
Wow, fellas, all I heard that. So it's confirmed. Confirmed protest, Mikey. You want to say this confirm even more with various areas. We just
Unfortunately, is about time as far as, in my view, as far as the workers are concerned. But this government has been engaged, of course, in the decertification or union busting. I know that the TNTech workers will be represented by OWTU. They have had, of course, a tremendously difficult time with this administration, and maybe this is one way of fighting back. And the audacity of the minister to then, of course, offer a 5% off the cuff, breaching, of course, fundamental principles of the collective bargaining process, I think is obnoxious, and they by now must understand the population has reached the zenith of its tolerance, and maybe the OWTU has now decided to make a move that will affect, of course, the general public, but at the same time is part and parcel of their fight back against marauding, draconian-oriented government.
So true, Lennox. So true.
Caller, a pleasant good morning to you, caller. Welcome to the ground report.
Sanubi, Workers Platform, and by extension our Gael family and all on the live stream. I listened to the minister on Tuesday on the topic of traveling abroad to see how good we have it here. People here still living on 2013 salaries. Foreign exchange is a challenge to get at the bank. That minister is issued his quota whenever he has to travel with no problems. My question to him is, what is his achievement in his portfolio for the past 9 years? And I'm going to leave that there. On the topic of living abroad, when people living abroad, your tax-paying dollars works for them. Good roads, water 24/7, electricity 24/7, breakfast and hot lunches for their children in schools. After-school programs for working parents who work after school hours, who's working after school hours. At the end of the year, free parking for all for the month of December as a gift back to the tax-paying persons. I can go on and on. Nothing works here. No water for weeks. High food prices. No CDAP medicine for the senior citizens. I have traveled abroad many times, and we are comparing apples to oranges. Let me be clear, nothing works here. Did anyone have a chance to listen to the debate response by our Senator Julian John, David? I was so proud of them. UNC proud. We want to live better. Thank you, gentlemen, and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Brown.
Wrong. Yes, indeed.
Olam, a pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the Ground Report. What's your contribution this morning?
Wonderful and always pleasant. Good morning.
Protest in this country, I don't have no sympathy for them. Yes, I'm talking about workers' protest. And this is why I'm saying this over and over. All we do is to wait on things to come knocking on our door, then we're looking for people to come out to support us. When Petrotin was going through the situation, fintech didn't come out and support them. When Warsaw was going through the situation, fintech wasn't coming out and supporting them. So they don't realize that the people who are responsible for increasing their wages is the government. So if you've seen one sector of the population being treated like dogs, and you feel, oh, I high and mighty in my yellow van with my pocket going and seeing about electricity thing, let them protest and let them get a 4% and you laugh at them and think. No, it's knocking on your door. You're holding protest. This is the only time I agree with Rowley to get police and lock up all of them. Because they're inconveniencing the people in the country from going about the thing. We supposed to never ever reach a situation like this in this country. The whole country could have mobilized. And as I always say, that big mouth one from the Bamboo, and the one from Castlefield's, and Abdullah, and Roger, and all of them, all could have mobilized with the demon, and protest, and drag an effigy of Kamla Prasad Bisasa through the Port of Spain to remove what government was giving them 15% salary from the government. Tech workers, everybody, think that 13% was getting. They wanted to mobilize together to remove that lady. And now, when they get 4%, they get, just imagine, you go on to negotiate for increase in your cost of living, and you get 0.1. I don't do this where we are today. Every single thing that is happening to workers in this country today, they deserve it. And it is the best time gold standard. Because what we grandmother always say, don't ever bite the hand that feeds you. They bite out the hand, they bite out the wrist, they bite out the shoulder, everything that was feeding them. They get Mr. Beautiful, Mr. Licky Lips and Pretty Face Rowley. Today's his birthday. I wonder how much of them celebrating with $55 million that we get for private expenses. How much of them could celebrate the birthday like how we celebrated Togo, where it is top part of the world? Yeah? How much of them could eat that a cake? Right now, who them support me and them supporters, them will be gone by kiss with the little 2 cupcakes to buy one to celebrate their birthday. Another share at about 15 pieces. That is where he leave them here. And now all the protesting and things, all the wake up, all the do this in this country. All the waiting, or when everything reaches zero, now the ask for something, take it and all the tail. I have a candle, I never ever get rid of oil light. That too, and I could survive. All the take it and all the tail, it's good for you. All the didn't like that, man. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Later.
I hope you have a cold pot too.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Wow. Oh boy, all of the lines are open. Anything that you would like to interject, Lennox Smith, brother, via the news or current affairs? You might.
We have quite a number
Details,
of
what updates you think we have there that we need?
I think Mikey touched it yesterday, so I'm not going to go there with respect to Short Young and all the glorious benefits we could look at for into of course 2027. But Belmont man shot dead while driving. So we continue, of course, to have this challenge.
Which one that happened? A Belmont man shot dead while driving in Belmont self?
Yeah, that happened on Desperately Crescent. So that is you could consider to be the heart of Laventille on the hill. You know, there's a Laventille on the flat or on the main road, they call it, a Laventille on the hill. So this is Desperately Crescent here. And of course, inquiries are still going on, but it is fresh. Of course, the whole question of that schoolboy bandit scenario, $80,000 was stolen or was taken in that heist. Of course, one wonders if this is the first known of a new trend. So they have discarded, of course, police uniform, and now they are looking at children's school uniforms to come into the act. So they are evolving. Whether the police can keep up with that is another story. So
that's not the on carnival costume and all kind of thing, boy.
But some good news though. Some good news.
What's the good news?
TNT nabs solo Creed tug in Angola. Oh boy, look at that. The Trinidad and Tobago has arrested the solo Creed tug in African country Angola 8 months after the vessel is believed to have abandoned the Gulf Stream barge and caused the oil spill disaster off Cove, Tobago. Finance Minister Com Imbert made the announcement yesterday as he wound up the appropriation financial year 2025 bill in the Senate. As he neared the end of his contribution, he told the upper house he had been passed a note that was a public announcement from the Office of the Attorney General, and he said that asked to be announced that on October 18th, through the Office of the AG, Trinidad and Tobago arrested the tug, the Solo Creed in Angola, which was the abandoned barge off Tobago that caused so much damage in Tobago. Imbert then declared, no, listen here, he said that is performance, PNM style. We tracked down that barge and we arrested it. Look at that. That is performance, PNM style. That's what he said.
Nobody barge in Trinidad or is it Angola? The guy told it?
No, the tug that was pulling the barge. The barge is in Trinidad.
Yeah, the tug. The barge was here, but the tug that pulled it and abandoned and it gone, they found it in Angola. And Imbert says that is performance, PNM style. We tracked down that barge and we arrested it.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't go on to say how many people was in this arrest, as he put it. It's just that they have it.
No, just the barge.
The barge. So they handcuff the barge and they leave the barge right there in the water and say, yes, we have you. And this is PNM. This is performance PNM style. That's right. Forget the man that jumping through Tanti window. The man who out there sexually assaulting women. The man who out there shooting at people. That is not catching them. It's not PNM performance style. PNM performance is letting them roam and have all the criminal elements having us under siege. But you see that badge? That badge that didn't shoot nobody. That badge that didn't rape nobody. That badge that didn't go out there and take nobody's life. They get it. They get the badge.
Just like how they get the minister bracelet back. And just like how they get back the same column in both son phone in record time. But to find the murderers, the killers, the rapers, the distressors, that ain't their style.
They got it.
Just lock up a man.
LENNOX.
In that statement is what they did not say. How is it coming out from the Office of the Attorney General and not from the Commissioner of Police?
There you go.
Because you would have had to have Interpol's intervention as well if you are to arrest that in another jurisdiction. We have no information about how it was done and whether or not it will be brought back here to Trinidad and at what cost, and whether or not they have found the owners themselves, if they find the physical boat, whether they find the owners, and whether or not they will stand liability. This is a public relations stunt. This is what
No, they found the bar. They found the vessel. They found the vessel. That's the most important thing.
And arrested.
That is the
And
vessel.
arrested in the statement. Just putting arrested in the statement is to sweeten that brew, to make it look as though somehow they have jurisdiction over the whole Atlantic Sea, where the Atlantic Ocean, where they had to, of course, travel in order to get that at the bottom of Africa, where Angola is located on the eastern side of Africa. I mean, it's a bunch of jokers.
Take a caller. We have a caller there. Caller, pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the number one program on television, The Ground Report. What's your contribution this morning?
I'm sorry to come back here. So Lennox and Andy and Mike, you want to try to tell me they're finding the tugboat, right?
Yes, the tugboat.
That businessman got kidnapped about a week or 2 weeks ago in central area, and they can't find him in small Trinidad. That we try to tell me. And it's because the government coming to But I know something most about that yesterday in Parliament. Tobago School. Saying to the Parliament and the public yesterday, all you're talking about property tax, and tax the businessmen and the business sector first. And that is what she boasting about. So they are taxing the residential properties, and they find that better than taxing the businessmen. This is the government, how sad the government is. This is how sad the government is towards the poor people. But I realize something. You don't have to be good in paying them to be rewarded. Because the man who goes down the parliament, we have to call them Mr. Parliament. We have to call them Mr. Parliament. And going further to add insult to injury, we're hiding. We need to boycott the media. I will stop a campaign about this. Because the media has failed us. The media is supposed to be the referee between the people and the government. The media against the lines, man. Because Andy and Lennox and Nike, when she was being shown in the internal election, we day on his front page, headline UNC when showing the local election, but we have nothing about PNM internal election. Sorry. Not local, sorry, internal. Every UNC front page, camera show internal elections. But no, the founding father, Freddie Ferreira, is stepping out and saying, first time in history, a political leader appointing somebody, say, but I so enough money, running, ever been a political leader of PNM. And Freddie Ferreira is the founding father of the PNM. But I don't know what he is. You know, we get Barry Garcia saying Rowley trying to use an anointing oil. You know, we get in the media. About church election, when, and I'm going to say again, how the university business, we can mind it. Why don't we pay? Let's start up here into this. I don't know what's the attention because I realize the media, we took the boycott the media, the mainstream media. It's not the money I mean, somebody.
Thank you very much. Morning caller. Morning caller, where you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
All you listeners on Gaia on YouTube. No,
the fact they arrested our boat, who gave the note the shorthand? Fella by the name of Limo. Was that note an affidavit? Was it a truthful note? Because you can't trust Limo with anything. Anything Limo want to give you, you ought to put a whole bag of salt on it. Now the other thing there is the boat that kidnap Thomas to bring it back. That the thing. So you just have to and the builder and beyond the thing. And when they find that Casa they don't find nobody with it. So you find the boat. Who they have to find is the owner of the boat, the pilot of the boat, etc., and bring them back. And I hope they're using the same impact helicopter to bring them back. Or are they using guardian passes to go on to that boat? I ain't nothing about guardian passes for a long while. That boat sink out. Or is another MV2.
Wow. Only on the ground report. Well said, caller. Whoa. We'll see how articulate the callers are. That's what makes us number one and always will be.
And
It's
gentlemen,
plain talk. Yeah, go ahead.
the number of variables there, including, of course, what has not been said, it shows a pattern of behavior of dishonesty by this government. Because remember, they had already gone to this international agency responsible for maritime shipping and so on, and made a case. I think it's an insurance company made a case for the spill. And of course, they issued some monies already with respect to that. That is what Stuart Young told us. So now that is already completed, but 9 months after the fact, you find the boat. Finding the boat doesn't have any relations or any significance at all for Trinidad and Tobago in terms of compensation for those persons who would have devastatingly been affected by that spill. And the answer is clearly no, because you already got the money. You gave, of course, approval for the money, never pay that way. You may not have it in the central bank as yet. But you gave 50 million for the spill already. THA said, well, their bill is actually 120 something million. So there's an outstanding sum that has to be paid. But to make that statement coming out of the Attorney General's office as opposed to the Commissioner of Police, you understand why you have to take what they say, as the caller said, with not just a dose, not just a bucket, but a truckload of salt or maybe a beach full of salt. And I'm saying that against the context, again, utilizing the office of the Attorney General for public relations purposes and propaganda, because here it is, the Office of the Attorney General made a statement, as well as EMBD, in that matter where the Privy Council said, listen, Ole will have to go to court and let the court decide whether or not those 5 cartel private or civil action could be ventilated and see where the pendulum spins. And here it is, because Munilal is involved, the Attorney General issues a statement on the matter. The EMBD, the entity that laid the complaints into the court, also made a double whammy on the matter, and Mullah had cause to say, well, this is political persecution, because there was no need for those two entities, especially the Attorney General, to of course say anything. And at any rate, he was not part and parcel of that matter that went to the Privy Council. He was only awaiting the outcome, because his defense has already been made many years ago, is ready, and therefore all he has to do now is to file. But I'm just showing you how the Attorney General Department now is now being used as for any opportunity to look good, but it's reverse psychology in steroids, but will go nowhere, because we know their game plan and we know their modus operandi.
Nice. Let's take a call. Let's take a call on the number one program, man. Let's take a call. Morning caller. Where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning? Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Silver here. Silver.
All right, well,
good morning, Andy.
The rest of the clip, you're going to go Tobago. The rest of the clip, you're going to go.
Rafi and your family, good people. Now, with this voting, I am not running behind every truck that pass. What I want to know, what I want to know is what the EBC get 10 million to do. What I want to know, we are changing the pattern of our voting. That is what I want to know.
Well, the proof of the pudding is in the voting itself. So we would see what we have done is do our part. We are seeing, of course, a tendency, a proclivity, and a direction that we are very, very glad about. We are very not concerned, definitely, because of course it is coming our way. Where of course you see more and more people are now, of course, recognizing what we have been saying for the past 9 years and into next year 10 years.
Yeah, some breakdown in technique, some breakdown in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were. I thought you.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to know how this man started sing calypso, right? This man supposed to sing church songs because I don't know how a man could make a dollar allege get rid of all his colleagues, some committing suicide. This blood allege is on his hands. What is wrong with the people in Trinidad and Tobago? We want election now. We can't take on no more tax. We can't take on this property tax. A man from Antigua is telling us when to pay the tax, and they are laughing at us. We are not fools in this country. Let us come out and stand for our rights. We have rights as everybody else. Let us come out to the street and stand up for our rights. Let us change the dynamic of this country. We can do it. We can do it. Everything they tell us is about away, and we live here. They're telling us go away and see how the place look like and how people live. But we don't have no money to go nowhere, and he knows that he's laughing at us. This minister is laughing at the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and this has to stop. We have to get up as one people and stop this bleeding. We are own nothing again. We are slaves now in our own island of Trinidad and Tobago. We are slaves. We go back to slavery. Everything these people doing for us to be bang and bang, they are not fulfilling us. We are tired. I am tired. I born, and my grandmother said, save something for rainy days. It have no rainy days. I can't save nothing. The government taking everything in tax. What next? What next? They will tax me walking with my wife. Tax. We don't even earn with home. People. When we build a house, we can't even sleep because we set a work widow in both come from Antigua and take away that. What next ever take away from us and we stand up like sheep? Get up and stand up, people. Let me stand up for our rights. Let me tax this property tax. Tax it now. These people need to go and go. They are bright. They are wicked. They are no good. We don't know what vote for them again, but they're just in our faces and they want to move. No, we don't want them. Hear them go. Hear them go. Get out of our face from Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and LENNOX Smith.
Oh boy, also have a voice note from Philip Alexander. So let's hear it. Oh boy, let me put up Mikey there. Oh boy.
Right here.
Yes. Nice. So we're going back to some voice notes now. Oh boy.
Giving you all kind of details to distract your mind and throw you off. The bandits were dressed like children, or the men was dressed like women, or the woman was dressed like Superman. Those things don't matter. What matters is you robbed a store in a mall. A mall usually has a fence, and an entrance and an exit is usually on a highway or somewhere where it is easy for police to block, stop, cordon, corral. Where are our community police? Where are our police on the beat? Where are the police that have that mall as their responsibility? Where are the police in the roving command centers, the vehicles? You see the vehicles that we have parked up all over this country, the thousands of vehicles that make all them 1% rich, that park up and rotten. Those vehicles in a real country would be used as mobile command centers. And the whole country, based on demographics, based on access, would have roving mobile command centers. And from the moment an alarm is tripped, the beat police, the feet police, the police on foot responding, and all of the mobile commands bringing in support, the helicopter dispatched, everybody getting reports, this was happening, they're heading down this road, helicopter take to the air to give them eye in the sky. All of that, nothing in Trinidad, but you're spending $9 billion on national security, and you're being fooled, and you're looking at criminals in shirt and tie in government, fooling you into believing the rule of law was meant to hog-tie the citizens and shove their hands down in your pockets and take away all your earnings as taxes so that they and their friends, family, and financiers could steal it. And that is what is wrong with Trinidad and Tobago, because the average person not seeing past the story, the average person not seeing past the responsibility of the government. The average person will ask me, but the Prime Minister don't drive the police car. And the Prime Minister is not the police commissioner. And all that stupidness. But the Prime Minister's job is to set a cabinet, and the cabinet job is to set management. So it's from the top down, the buck stops with the Prime Minister. I have told Trinidadians for years, the Prime Minister has one job: man management. Man and woman, but we call it man management in industrial terms. Man management. The Prime Minister's job is to appoint the first level of senior management, and that is the cabinet. Those are the ministers, and their jobs are to enunciate the plan, the goals, the targets, the budgets. And that is supposed to be handled trickle down by different levels of seniority and people in positions of authority. Where is all of that in Trinidad and Tobago? And the day you all start pushing past Sabga media bullshit and start asking those questions is the day we will start to become a real country.
Oh boy. Philip, you had to take it down again. In the GRO
that was a WhatsApp that was sent to everyone on his list. So
Okay.
again, we do apologize for that. That should have been vetted. We do apologize for that voice note, but no, that was sent to the masses.
Okay.
He blasted out.
Mikey, good morning again to you, Andy, Lennox, and to everybody. Lennox, this morning we are proving that patience is a virtue. Patience is really, really a virtue. He talking about what Kamala drink. I wonder what it is he drinking. That the information not soaking through. That the opposition cannot do anything if the DPP throw the case. What can the opposition do? You see, they so want to come here and talk and say, let's call the radio station, that they don't care what crap they talk. They don't care what crap they talk. I tell you, dealing with that is like dealing with a 5-year-old now learning the alphabet in school. Patience is really a virtue.
Andy Williams, good morning. Every day is another story to distract the citizens of the country. We have to stay focused. The PNM had to leave here. What RSC making Anguilla with this Gulf Stream? You didn't know who it is, so how come you're arresting somebody now? You didn't know who the Gulf Stream belonged to. How come you're arresting somebody now? And let them be careful and open up a can of worms. Because Trinidad and Tobago done under pressure with Venezuela. So let them don't open up a can of worms, because If they open up the can of worms, you go hear all who involved in that Gulf Stream oil spill business there. They don't play bossing in Parliament like if they do something. They do nothing. All they do is making themselves a fool. Because you make it clear to the people at Trinidad and Tobago, you don't know who you belong to, and you can't find nobody. All of a sudden you find people. But I call it sale fruit in Port of Spain. I'll be careful, eh? Be careful when I interfere with when I interfere with all. Have a good morning.
That was Mother Bernie from Tobago. But Mikey, you clearly on that. They didn't find nobody, but they find just the boat. And that's what the news told you, huh?
No, just the tugboat, the tugboat. They arrested the tugboat. They've got it. When it should have been simply said, listen, we have located it and it has been secured by the authorities in Angola. That's all. But to go on to talk about this is PNM performance, with what? With what? You found the boat, all right? You found the owners? You arrested the owners? Are you ready to extradite? Are they going to be extradited here to back to Trinidad and Tobago? Who's going to stand the cost of all of that? All the fisher folk, all the people that were affected, the tourism. Who is going to address it with Fali and his team? Have you laid that out? But you're standing there in the People's Parliament, in the Senate, talking about that is PNM performance. Performance on what? You would think that he was out there with the little jacket, with the little short self, jumping in the water, swimming in circles, and he get up there and hold somebody as he showed them that hobbit face. Ah, yes, we do it as we spill the oil. And I am happy to say that is PNM performance. That would have been a better movie. But to stand up there and talk that utter nonsense about you are handing a note and you arrested the tugboat. Come on, man. What really going on with Hobbit? But Hobbit is taking it, right?
It's called short and sweet.
And excited himself, you know.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing on that?
That is typical. That is typical PNM. Don't be surprised if arrest is an invention or an insertion by they themselves, because they have this uncanny ability to exacerbate and exaggerate that which really does not exist. Because you already got paid. You say you went up to where the headquarters is of that maritime agency, and you negotiated, and they didn't want to pay, but they decided to pay. And how does that boat now becomes culpable for anything? I would expect that if you get paid from that agency will now go after the boat owners. I can understand that. So it's a bunch of hogwash, stereotypical of this administration for political electioneering purposes. That's all. But their currency really and truly has lost all value.
Oh boy, caller, pleasant good morning to you. What's your contribution on the Ground Report this morning? Welcome to the Ground Report. Oh, Tobago. Your phone bad.
You're breaking up bad. You're breaking up bad there, Tobago. We want to hear your contribution.
This year, party need to go to the Hall of Fame. That is best since the dawn of creation. How you going to do?
I didn't understand him. We didn't understand it, boy. You gotta call me back. Yeah.
If I had to be, I will want to find out now, does that mean that we will get our monies now? Because you paid 50 million and you still have a remaining something in the vicinity of 80 million to pay for those persons who contributed to the cleaning up of that spill. That is what Tobago must be concerned about now.
Of course, not the boat. You get the tugboat. That was never the mission. Hey, boat, we have you. Do you know what you did? What madness you talking about?
You will not hear about that boat again. Let me put it that way.
That's it. You're right. That's right.
It had service by saying what he said there, and that's it. Full stop.
That's it. You're right. You're right. Because the next thing they'll tell you, it's tied up in all kind of documents with the authorities, and it's a geopolitical issue and all that. You'll never hear about that boat again. Yeah. That boat is reaching nowhere close. There, nobody is going to be held accountable. Nobody is going to be held accountable. Look how long it takes just to find the boat. You can imagine how long it will take to get justice. Come on, man.
That was their
Who's on the
argument
outside?
when they went to that financing agency to get money for the spill. They said that they can't find it. So if you find it post facto, that has nothing to do with anything else. Let them go behind it if it's so, if they put out their money. And that and all, we're not certain because the people will say they were hard pressed to consider Trinidad and Tobago as a justifiable case. But only on the environmental front, they would of course consider. And I am not certain if they're getting any money at all.
All right, Trinidad and Tobago. Oh boy, let me take some voice notes since we have no other calls yet. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's go to some voice notes. Mikey, you ain't easy now, boy. You really... What's man? Rowley, that stress me out. That's going to stress me out. But sometime, Mikey go come with something, boy. Oh, Lord. Hey, hello, bot. You under arrest?
Yeah. Yeah. We have you.
What you
We
do?
tracking you since Trinidad. Since Trinidad, we tracking you, yeah. And he dive in the water and start to swim because, you know, he done short, he going in circles, and he grab onto the boat and slap handcuffs on it. There you go. And this is something he coming back to tell the people. They find that boat. You find out that is after the fact. Now that you find the boat, what else? And Lennox is correct. You'll never hear about that again. Just trying to stand there with a PR stunt and trying to see how best they can get mileage out of that. So the little minions could go all over the airwaves and talk about, you see, we find the boat then. All right, and how that helping you? How that helping the people at Tobago?
Bunch of jokers.
This government could find a boat. We know they could find a boat. They just can't find the reason for all the crimes, for all the deaths of the babies, for all the people that kicking down your door and invading your home, all the extortionists, all the kidnappers. They can't find them at all. But by golly, they could find a boat. Who's on the outside?
Morning, caller. Where you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, Andy. Morning, Mikey and Lennox. I'm calling from Labrador.
All right, workers' rights. Go ahead, my brother. Jeffrey, go ahead.
You know, I read in this papers here. I doing a research on an article that I would have seen in which the Minister of Tourism would have said that they would have contributed $16 billion to the GDP. And you know, seeing that I was on that spectrum, I would have went back from in previous records back until 2000. And the thing about it is this. I find the population, there are certain things that the population should be asking for clarity on. Because that is not a realistic figure at all. Because if tourism does contribute 2.1% and 3.1%, and the projection for this year here is $7 billion, something funny about this whole situation is the Minister of Tourism lying. Because let me give you some figures that we could compare to. In the whole of St. Patrick area, Point Fortin, we just contribute 40% of the GDP, the overall GDP within the country. And that only adding up to be $11 billion. Where is $16 billion coming from? What type of figure is that? It's not realistic, and the population has never clearly now. If you go and you dissect the article that are placed in the Newsday concerning that whole situation, you are seeing it talking about the cricket and 20,000 people come to Trinidad, and when they do a math, it's coming up to be about $7 billion more. How that possible? Where that money coming from? Is that a lie to distract people? What is that? That's my question today. Some of these figures and them, they are not realistic outside there, and we must pay attention. You, the Minister of Tourism, jump up in the Parliament and talking shoppiness. That is just to distract the people. We need to pay attention to the money. And good morning to the rest of the
region,
the audience.
Yeah, man. Thank you, there, brother.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
He's saying checks and balances. Go ahead, Andy. We have
Bogus self-serving appraisal. That's what happened today. Bogus self-serving
morning
appraisal.
We have somebody there, Lennox. Hold on. Morning. Go ahead.
Morning, caller. Caller, breaking up bad, but go ahead, try. Huh?
Breaking up, caller. Breaking up.
Breaking up, you're
You
breaking up bad.
you sound like you're underwater or something, man.
Yeah, try us back, caller. Morning, next caller, morning.
Love the program.
Oh boy. Me take a next call again. Only
Yeah, you love the program, but you can't swim and listen at the same time. Morning.
Why Randall Mitchell made a statement like he attended someone a Puff Daddy party and he didn't get no baby oil. But apart from that, I've seen that they find the boat, right? Right in Angola. Why not they no find Bridgeman now in Trinidad and find Trafigura? That was also two boats that was in controversy, where a shipment of fuel left Trinidad and Tobago and we didn't know where it gone to. Bridgeman, who replaced the sea bridge, we still don't know who is that. So we could try and find out these things right here in Trinidad. We don't go all over the world and find a boat. You know, this scenario come like a shipment of guns in a container going in a central warehouse. You know what they do? They go and arrest the driver. We make another possible to pull trailer. They go and lock up the poor man, arrest him. But he can't buy a good roti for lunch. But they go and arrest you. And they find nobody who bringing in the gun and who own the guns on it. That's the kind of brilliant this government has. Have a good morning, John.
Thank you. Next caller, morning. Welcome to the Ground Report.
Andy for Gandhi and Gandhi for Andy. Where else? Mikey?
Morning, brother. Yes, brother. Morning.
I have the channel and the workers platform and share a light on all media. After that, and also Mikey, that I'm going to question the badge, so she will have to leave for 3 months to Ghana, to Angola to get a statement from the badge. But you see, what Brother Jeffrey just said, I don't understand. It was so bad, right? Now the parents trying out, they were scared. But after Rowley put the East Indian in front of the Africans first, and now the state race can have nothing to go on the race. So that's one part of the avenue shut down. Then you see all this diversion where they put it out at the smoke screen. Nobody has accounted for the $70 billion budget that's gone. And then the kind of debate they give and the answers they give where they do with the people money. 9 years. This is 9 years. On the 10th year now, we make it. The African diaspora didn't get one good delivery and upliftment in this country. And they see where they keep all the money. Now India and all of them, you see now, they can spit, how they spit it on the supporters of the PNM. Right? And they disregard because money going to the head, the kind of money they have in the pocket now from the state. Then I want to ask now, right, where the economic prosperity for this 9 years to uplift the black man, the election coming. But I only hope people know that if we only have 100,000 registered voters, 3 days, and you only get 7,000 people to vote for it. And when I say the PNM supporters, the core who you depend on and who we engage, they reject him and they didn't understand it. But we want to do a change in the regard to put Stuart Young now that they postpone it. And I want to know the 5 G's I can't call out one of them money on their stuff. But the 5 of them, I wonder what to say now. Why all the UNC who run to the PNL, that is the kind of governance all over, and they got to change the leadership and put the party in order. I want to see Eugene Williams have to say about it. And all these short words are the strong PNM, the real PNM membership. So I just tell you, the thief of the money, if people are hungry, and then we want to put a person to guarantee the continued thieving. And what the song give Trinidad, Shell, let me check that. But when a minister like, no, Dr. Bully will have the answer. Why is Stuart having an answer for the shortfall of the market gold money? Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, caller.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. A lot of calls coming in. Let me see if I have any more voice notes by the meanwhile too. While we await your calls. All right. Morning, caller. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Boston. I can really guy there way.
Yeah.
I don't know what only do you know. Usually smart who extend this program and the program so that I can get through this program. Let us say here, anyway.
Loud and clear,
Yes,
loud
yes.
and clear. Loud and clear.
You was on fire last night, but it was like out of control, boy. I let us define all the laws of physics. And first time I see a fire start from up from top down. A low spark, low combustibles, nothing. Let us talk about revolutionary talking. Let us challenging people to come into the guy on the corridor. You know. That's and let us. Boy, I think you got up several notches further. You move from out of control to critical mass. You want critical mass, and I feel you want supernova. I feel supernova is the highest level that they could really be on. But I know I want to know you know Lennox. I feel Lennox have a bucket of holy water just waiting for them to demons in away. And talking about the guy, right? Talking about the guy, you know, Mikey, and I've seen Mikey boy.
You'll be there. Going to do something quick. Go ahead. We're listening.
Yeah.
And the people on Gaia are listening.
So that stick, boy, that guy I'll stick in holy water. And then really posture for the posture for the holy stick is both hands up in the air, one foot in front, next foot behind. I don't know which one where around this boy. Yeah, and I do the guy dance. So let us say, but I don't know what all Andy allowing Ronnie come and interfere with the program. I using the program is cutting off all kind of thing. But anyway, at least the program and they get shorter. You want to put some sense to that, boy. But just one more thing, buddy. Just one more thing. This pre-action protocol. I don't know what to call what to refer to as maybe a reptilian shifter because maybe they shift into women or something. It was only women in his troops. This man, this person wants to tell people that you privileged, that you seen trouble in Trinidad because it can be worse. You know, like you referred to the leader, if food there. So you are really thankful that you were there yet, Yasan. What is wrong with these people? I don't know here. And then we have this next I don't know what to call she, but she's supposed to be fasting. She's supposed to be fasting, and I don't think she fasted. You know, like yeah, before forget that.
I had a cut.
Yeah. No.
All right. Next caller, man. Next caller. Oh boy. Just too much, a little too long, and you're very good. Your contribution,
Yeah,
but it can't be too long. When I get long, you start to sound confused.
And other people started out 40.
Yes. Oh boy.
And some people on the line question, so keep it short and sweet.
Yes. All right, so let me play some voice note. But wait, let me. Wow. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Morning. Right. From the donor creation, PNM is the greatest party. They need to go down the Guinness Book of Record.
The Tobago?
Yeah.
Why?
They need to buy the other film.
Why?
Why them on the real? Can't believe. Are they for real?
When are the
greatest rock match you since it's all operation.
we're laughing at when Mikey talk about the find the boat and arrest the boat. Or?
Mikey. But this people are no damn shame, boy.
Oh, shame.
Yeah.
Oh God, thank you, Tobago. Thank you. Oh
No
God, Lennox.
shame, there no shame.
You the way Mikey put on that day. Lennox, no.
Yeah, there no
Coming back
shame.
with that, you know. That boat thing there.
Yeah, dead. That's the end of that. Waste people time. Trying to get political mileage off of that. Again, so the little medians could go all over. You see little Rowley and them, and they ain't gonna say the AG, you know. Look, Rowley and them get the boat. They get the boat. And what they gonna do? Bring it back here and compete with Iowa George for boat rides? What they gonna do with the tugboat? Tell us. They find it in Angola. How much will it cost to get it back here? Who's going to stand trial? This trial is going to be what? What maritime laws? What govern these waters? I mean, then we had to wait for that to go to the Privy Council because the owners. I mean, oh God, you find the boat. Good for you. You and your family should jump on that tugboat and you all should sail to where the monkey put in nuts.
Full stop.
Full stop. All right, let me get some voice notes there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey. Oh boy. That is a laugh. Nice. We'll play some voice notes here, man.
Cool. All my schoolmates is pure, and we still friends up to now. Sometimes we had the voice Sammy boy, roti. Okay, you take my bread and peanut butter, and I go take my roti and plantain. That is a people with our love in this country, boy. But Rowley and the ministers divide the country and only thinking on race. Why they should be? From a little boy going to school and almost schoolmates, we still friends. Some girl and come at the job. Right? That's the road they take. But Rowley make everybody pipers in the country, but putting everybody against one another, boy. But you see me, I have a quarrel in me. So Rowley can't tell me to be racial or to talk about divide me and talk about disrespect my friends. No. All my friends treat me that love. Up to now. Right? And this Rowley government is the worst that ever passed in this country. The Rowley make history in the country now. Now going to go find out quite an angle that. And why they can't find Chapigura according to Mama Chiki. And this one they call the Pomchite Rasta, but he the worst. He and Jiasing and Jaka Jiasing and this one they call them again. Sure, so I'm putting them the worst ever passed in the country. Have a blessed present day, Andy. I'll be not saying begging for a bottle. Have a blessing, my brother.
Yes, man. You gotta help that.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, yesterday in Parliament, like if he was in Best Village, they can use, they just find the boat or they find the tug or they find wherever the hell it is. And that is performance, PNM style, if you hear excitement. And the set of clowns, the candidates for the garbage bags, all of them on the PNM side there. If you hear how they thumping the desk, you know as if it's this big achievement. But as the police fellas say, they can't find the murderers. They can't find the fella that they kidnapped about 2 weeks ago. They can't find all the wrong things and the evildoers in this Trinidad, but they can find the thug. And I see, all your fellas, all you're on point. All you just come with the facts, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You understand? And both of them have to know when they're talking the crap, they ain't talking to PNM dunce. You understand? When you, or I should say, they're talking to PNM dunce, not the intelligent people in this country who you can't tell a goat is an elephant. You understand? Talk to your PNM dunce and tell them the moon living in Balize house. You understand? I fed up of them. Every day is a different thing. And until the people in this country, they stand up and fight for what is. They see what is going on. This is a critical situation in this country. They can call it a country. This is a circus. This is a zoo that we're living in. No police, no lawfulness, no nothing that is supposed to be good in this country. Everything in this country is a mess, a total mess, a whole mess and nothing but a mess. And when these PNM will come out, they lying and believing themselves, and they want everybody else to believe it. Well, it ain't going down, so we had enough. And it's about time we the people start doing something. They sit here and take on them striking this morning, they take long. The whole of Trinidad should strike. And here now, the lights could go, the water could go, everything will go, because it's only when the people have pressure, they understand the power of the people. You hear? Because when you boil it all down, everything that is running in this country is not by Rowley and Imbert and Betty Mouse Young. It's the people. The people have to control everything in this country to make this country work. The people that they don't want to pay, the people that they have no respect for, the people that they're abusing. If everybody put down tools, put it that way, and stand up and say, okay, PNM had to go, see what will happen in this country. Or you're joking, yes? The power of the people is so big, it's so great, but the problem is they just don't know it.
Andy,
Just
Imbert should be ashamed to announce that in Parliament. That means we have no security in our country. A boat coming in here with a tugboat, make an oil spill, and have time to reach where you reach there for you to now arrest the tugboat. We have nothing going on in our country named security and securing borders. It's a set of duns we have, and then nobody must believe Limo. Limo went to Miami and lie in a court. So we're not supposed to believe him. So we should shame that we have nothing to guard our borders. Everybody could come in free and go out free. Make them mischief, do what they want, and when they're ready, they stay there. Arrest the tugboat. It's a waste of time in this place. Every time they go in Parliament and they shame when people start to beat them, the opposition, they start to ball us, they start to bring in a set of things that don't make no sense. All you don't believe these people, they're too lied. Lying is the name and the game. They're wicked.
Good morning, guys. And Mikey K, you make me fall off my bed this morning. What they do with the tug, the raid, the badge? Put a handcuff on it and arrest it. Mikey K, that was the best one I hear for the whole week going down. You all guys have a blessed day.
Oh, Lord.
No, you really have to laugh, because this reminds me of a certain individual who used to work with Peter Pan on this crime show. But it's always good to show your gun. Look at our gun there, look at our gun. That's really the PNM way, The PNM does only go for the smoking gun. Forget the shooter. Look, we had the gun. This is it here. Yeah, this is what they kill Cannon with. And then they do so and they come back and they kill Trigger. This is it. This is the gun. We had the gun. Listen, how is that going to help anybody? There's nobody to bring to justice. You handcuff this tugboat and put it where? In a cell? You're going to bring it down St. Vincent Street, put it in the courthouse? What nonsense you're talking? We know the gun. Who is the shooter? Who owned the vessel? Who is going to compensate the fisher folk? And the people who are affected by this spill in Tobago and the tourism sector? We know what the gun did. We know the damage of the gun, but my God, go and get the shooter. It's the shooter we want.
We want the shooter. Come on, let's see if it have any other voice notes. Oh boy.
And before we get, and the strange thing about it, gentlemen, the listening public, they had the information since last week, Friday, but they held on to it so he could stand up after winding up this whole budget, this waste of time budget, to put that in, to create a distraction and to get political mileage. Since last week, Friday, why are more than hold a press conference? The office of the Attorney General, over the weekend, do something, win back your credibility, but no. They say, hold on to that. We go hit that hard next week, Wednesday. Yeah, and we go throw everybody off that this budget is nonsense. Come on, man.
And don't be surprised, gentlemen, if the owners knowing full well that they would be compensated, or they have made overtures to be compensated by this international organization. I just found it there. Let me give you the name of the organization, just in case you believe that we are on kicks here. It is called the IOPC, the International Oil Pollution Compensation Funds. Yes, your Chong, we know. So the IOPC, the International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund, was approached, and they have decided to give some money, something like 20 million US. They are advocating for. Of course, he said at the joint, well, not at the joint, but at the accounts committee dealing with the budget, he said that he still has to go and get it. But they have already, of course, put out money in order to compensate the people in Tobago as part of the budgetary allocation there too. But the point I am making here is that it could well be that the owners, having, of course, recognized that they have gone there for compensation, decide, of course, to make themselves visible. Because the Gleaner and all, the Jamaican newspaper has carried that, and that date is October the 24th. So that is just about what? That's the days. That's the days. That has been carried in today's Jamaican papers. So it just goes to show that there is always something sinister and always something underhand with these people. 9 months after the spill, you now get it. After, of course, you're getting compensation from an international institution. Don't doubt at all if there is some nexus between some close associate with the PNM in that regard. And of course, they get a handshake, because we will never hear about that boat or that incident again. This is only for public relations gimmickry.
Thank you very much. Let's take a call. Morning caller, welcome to the Ground Report.
Morning, Andy. Morning, Mighty K, and morning, Lennox Smith. Let me tell all you something. I don't know if all you could remember Malcolm X. I keep telling all you, this government know about a whole oil spill in Tobago. And I was always questioning if it's taxpayers' money have to pay to clean up the oil spill. But now, all you're telling me, listen now, and be very stupid in this country to believe that. Them know all the time we're going on and the gate time. Here we want and go to clap and be happy with. You see the $3 billion? I want him to find that. I want him to find the US money where they can't find. Why let me tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, just as how they pass bill for we to take injection quick for COVID. Let we get a bill passed and a begging the opposition for accountability. Politicians declare the asset and start to lock up people and seize this country still rich, you know. If we take money from all them politicians where they are hiding all about, and I hear this stupid one talking about travel. It's true, Panama is 35 cents on the train in Panama. You gain a pounds for $2 in Panama. You know the cost of living. Because it's not a buying up meaning. This stupid one from Saudi, we was in HDC, Randall Mitchell. We know traveling. Them is a good thing. Everything them doing is also we taxpayers' money. So it must know the cheap out there. Trinidad and Tobago, the longer we stay with this government, don't get carried away with this boat. This boat, them know about it. It was them oil, all of them. Ask Newman George about that, and the divers were drowned. Len Newman George and them answer and tell Trinidad and Tobago the truth. Since they moved a man from AGC and they put him in the oil company, the place get blight. He blight AGC and he blight him there too. Because why? He, the speaker, Rowley, all of them is twin. Man, look, Trinidad and Tobago, it's time for we to rise. Tea and take all your rise, what all your rise. And let me close down the place and call for election now, boy. All you know, we know how many people could dead by next year. Boy, all you have a good day, boy. Ready all know, boy. All know I ready for wherever it is, boy. By any means, necessary be to get rid of in book and Stuart Young and them, no?
Thank you very much. Oh boy. Next, I'm gonna play a little voice note.
So I went to my local Jamaican store to get something to eat, and I noticed in the freezer they had like little packages of breadfruit, like slice of breadfruit, slice of mango, and all these different products from Jamaica. So I went up and asked the business owner, like, how it is, like, where are you getting all these products from? Like, how are you doing this? And he told me it's just like a little small business, like little normal people, started this little company, and now they have like an international business where they have Jamaican products available in New York. How come I never see no Trini products like that? How come I see no one from Trinidad doing something like that?
No, it's get tricky.
Simple little stuff. All you gotta do is just partner with one business, and boom.
Nah, you do get tricky
No,
things.
yeah. Come on, yeah.
Stores, you could go on in England. You're
That's
getting
right. That's right.
That's the same way you're getting Jamaican stores. You're getting Trini stores. You get Ghani stores too. Shops too. So yeah, it have that. You just never
Yeah,
know.
well, gentlemen, I bought a little boy in New York. The only big difference here is that I had to pay an extra 5 cents for the returning of the plastic in
The
Trinidad.
bottle, yeah, the
They
bottle.
wouldn't pay a cent. They would pay a cent for the cleanup of the environment. That's big. So I take your point that you will find products coming from Trinidad, emanating from Trinidad, in these stores, these side stores that I think the Koreans and they would be, of course, peddling all over New York and other places. But listen, you know that this scenario is similar. This boat scenario, this arresting of this dog, is similar to the clearing of the Sealots graveyard, the boat graveyard in Sealots. It has a similar tone like this, because here it is in the case Stuart Young boasted that they clear the harbor, they clear all of those things and all the boats and so on in Sealots. And of course was boasting that nobody saw it fit because it was a eyesore and an environmental hazard, etc., etc. But what he did not tell us is that Alan Warner has a facility down on that side that requires, of course, their ship or their boat's supply of cement, etc., to come to that area. And I am not casting any aspersion, only to say it is curious that here it is that they chose there to clean up because, and therefore, or should I say, and here we have the presence of Alan Warner down there in that same vicinity, benefiting from it, utilizing taxpayers' money. In the case of that arrested boat, they didn't have taxpayers' money, but they used taxpayers' money to remain a member of the International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund. And they went there, and after they were able, of course, to get some kind of compensation, they then announced that they arrested this boat. And I will not be surprised if there is some nexus to the PNM with respect to the owners.
Hold on that. Morning caller, where you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report?
Morning, Andy. This is the New York caller here.
Go ahead.
I just want to correct there's a manifesto I was talking about where you see breadfruit and thing in a store. So why are you going to a Jamaican store to look for Trinidad products? Jamaican stores promote Jamaican stuff, but I can tell you, without a doubt, we have so much products from Trinidad selling right here in New York. You don't suffer for nothing. You understand me? We have from Fried China in bottles, one of the best brand, the best tasting brand, is Sani. You can get Solo, you can get apples, you can get peanut punch, you can get preserve, lachu, every kind of preserve you want from Trinidad. It's a lot of Trinidad products selling here. Yeah, understand? We're getting good dashing bush too. I'm telling you, if you want to find out the products, pepper sauce, one of the best tasting pepper sauce. People say Booties is the best. No, we are one of the best tasting pepper sauce without any preservatives, called Habanero brand. The brand name is Habanero. It has been sold in all the roti shops in Queens here. And another brand, a big brand, is mother-in-law brand, they call it. Mother-in-law is the brand name. I could tell you, mother-in-law man go to carry boy, they have pepper choker, they have everything, shadow belly, pepper sauce, everything you want from Trinidad. You get that right here in New York City. Let them come on Queens by Trin City, Trinity Light, Sings Beauty Shop, all about it. All about the Bronx have it. You understand? So let Mr. Manifesto go and shop in the Trinidad place. Don't go to Jamaican place, actually Trinidad products.
All right, thank you very much.
And
Oh
there may
my
be Trinidad
God.
products being sold there, vice versa. But I had an experience in New York when, of course, I saw, I took a bottle of pepper sauce, as you talk pepper sauce. And you know, there's a plagiarizing of label, because it was, everything came from somewhere Korea, but they put on it Trinidad pepper sauce. So you even have that happening on the
Yes.
ground in that part of the world. So,
All 1 minute again. Oh boy.
so there's
Morning,
opportunity for
Andy.
business.
Henrik, how you doing? Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, is Trinidad gone mad? Trinidad gone mad, man. In a mad place now, man. Oh, Lord. Man, arrested badge.
Man, say man arresting badges. Say your next voice note.
So that is why we ain't seen Erla. She went out in Angola to arrest the badge. Well done, Erla. We thank you for arresting the badge. Now come here and deal with the criminals. Deal with them.
Next.
I want to ask you a question again. Didn't Kamla Pascal Bissessa put that DPP there? Didn't she put in there? And I have another question. Who leased the pitch lake to get billions of dollars borrowed from China? Who? I want that. Andy Williams, I have a question for Lennox. I don't know if you didn't listen to my message clearly, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to ask the question. Could the DPP do what he want, even it's unlawful, and not bring a matter against somebody when there is evidence of wrongdoing and fraud, and he could get away with it, and nobody can do him nothing? I don't believe that, Lennox Smith. I want your answer on that again. I don't believe somebody could do what they want.
Yeah.
According to the law of this country, nobody is above the law, including the president. Nobody means nobody. Who gave the president that authority to do what they want, and no police can lock you up? When the law says nobody is above the law, so they make the law saying one thing and then doing something else. And
Nice. And besides that, let me play one more quick. They answer that they just now because when we watch the time, it's 4 minutes too.
Yeah.
Good morning, my brothers. 4 main things: drugs, guns and ammunition, money laundering, and the boat. Put it together.
Handcuff the boat and put it by the Supiani Boulevard. For the jackass paying my chance to see it. But we roll them arrest the boat. Let's bring the boat and put it by by Supiani Boulevard in the heart of Port of Spain. That's that jack.
Again, watch all your language when you're sending your voice note, please. Okay, next warning, I would not play when I see you.
That's right. If you're not, gotta make sense. 3 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock as we wrap things up, Andy. That's
one
what
more
we have.
caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, go ahead, caller. Where are you calling from? Area. Canada. Go ahead, Canada.
No, with bringing stuff into the country, they say they're banning honey. And something about the honey, when you open the bottle, is going to affect the bees out there. I haven't heard anything of the sort. Could you guys check that out for me, please?
Lennox, you check out that. There's something with honey.
I think Guyana has a problem here.
You're talking about bringing something in Canada? Or bringing honey to Canada? Or bringing honey or from Canada to Trinidad?
Yeah.
You say that?
The Guyanese has an issue, a current issue on that matter as well. They have been banning their honey products as well coming into Trinidad, and that is a brewing dispute. But with respect to the guys' concern or question, well, the DPP has total and absolute control of all criminal matters. However, if the DPP go and steal something, he can't be charged. Understand that? However, the president, if the president goes and steals something, he cannot be charged. So there are people who are above the law in the grassroots sense. Yes.
As far as these office holders. So that brings us to the end of this morning's program, folks. Again, please try and stay alive until tomorrow. God willing, we'll be right back here, the ground report. And to our CARICOM brothers and sisters on Gael, thank you so much for your support. And those on Real Media TT, don't forget Facebook and YouTube on Real Media TT from 6 a.m. Monday to Friday, and from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Gael TV. It is the ground report. On behalf of LENNOX Smith, Andy Pitbull Williams, and yours truly, Mikey K, and our technical director, try and stay alive until tomorrow. We are out of here. Don't forget tonight, Corridor Transformation, 8 o'clock, LENNOX Smith on social media. Have a good one.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and LENNOX Smith.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, for Spain North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
BNM is the stalwarts of mafia, bubble and corruption. Home of them big liars, big thieves of millions of dollars. Don't trust none of them. Them is the real problem. They're doing me what they want, so they be put up them. We not voting them fucking CNN. We not voting them fucking CNN. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King John.
Yes, people, of course, we have come to the end of this morning's, of course, ground report. Another edition. Yes, indeed, this Thursday edition, of course, is the penultimate to Friday. Know that I will not be around tomorrow night, but certainly tonight you will see me on the Corridor Transformation. My apology for the little static that we had last night, but that was due to circumstances beyond my control, even though I made the error. Let me be clear here. So, but that being as it may, have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Acting like a dictator. He and Maduro moving together. They bring down Delcy Rodriguez and be citizens, oh, they crying tears. They want the US to sanction we, cause more poverty. They're doing we what they want, so let me put up them. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King John. Living high, dictatorship style. Putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, for Spain North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
Stuart Young, minister of everything. He is the king of lying. Don't talk about the buck Imbert, bumping up big like an old goat.
Talk too much.
Don't talk about Al Rawi, he lacking integrity. 23 million in rent, and we can't get a cent. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them fucking CNN. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King Scott. Living high, dictatorship style. Putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting, them fucking CNN. We not voting, them